running around trying to find hits, and we want to play physical, but we got to stay composed with it.
You and I have talked about challenges and facing them all year long. Here you are looking at your biggest challenge. What's the mindset of this team heading into the game tonight?
Well, we've got to play with conviction. We talked about it today. First, you got to have belief and confidence. We're 5-1 in games 5, 6, and 7. I like our chances, but we don't have to look any further than tonight. Come to the rink, play desperate, play with conviction, play the game we can, and we have many times this year. You're right, it's a big challenge, but we like challenges. Our team has been up to the challenge all year long. One more road trip wouldn't be too bad.
All right, Travis, thank you.
All right, thanks, Berkey.
That's Comets head coach Travis Green getting us ready for Game 5. That's next. This is Comets Hockey on 94.9 K-Rock.
Murphy Excavating, serving the Mohawk Valley since 1952, is a proud supporter of the Utica Comets. They offer complete commercial and residential services. Whether it's a drainage issue, lawn and driveway repairs, or site development, Murphy Excavating will get the job done. As a bonded and fully insured full-service local contractor, Murphy Excavating safely and effectively delivers the services needed to get every aspect of the job done right, on time and on budget. They're on call 24 hours too. Murphy Excavating, 3 generations and counting.
So your buddies voted you most likely to never get married. And now, surprise, surprise, you're planning on popping the big question. Now what? Hi, this is Steve of Lennon's Jewelers, where our business is helping guys like you pick out that spectacular engagement ring. You've probably heard us use words like pave, marquee, princess cut when referring to diamond rings. Well, we have all of them at Lennon's Jewelers, and it's our job to show you which is which. And don't be afraid to come in our store if you're on a budget. Heck, we're all on a budget. That's why we carry diamond rings from $499 and up. So give her a gift of your love with a diamond engagement ring from Lennon's Jewelers.
Shop the Herb Phillipson Super Dad's Day and Summer Sale going on now. Save on men's Gildan tees in assorted colors, just 2 for $8. Suggested retail $10. The entire stock of ladies and men's scrubs 10% off. Take 20% off our entire stock of fishing tackle boxes. And great savings on camping, fishing, and hunting gear.
For the best selection of name brands at low price fighter prices, shop Herb Phillipson's. Your outfitters for the great outdoors.
For Father's Day and summer fun, we have it all. Herb Phillipson's, your outfitters for the great outdoors. With locations in Rome, Oneida, Herkimer, and the New Hartford Shopping Center. Stop in today.
From the carrier zone to our local hospitals, malls, schools, and city buildings, Central New York's future is bright, and the IBEW Local 43 will continue to help light, power, and grow our community.
And now in front for Sanguinetti, he scores! This place is about to go nuts.
This is the Utica Comets 2015 Calder Cup Playoffs pregame show on 94.9 K-Rock.
The building is full. It is already loud. The puck has yet to be dropped here in Game 5 of the Calder Cup Finals. The Utica Comets trail the Manchester Monarchs 3-1. The Monarchs, the affiliate of the LA Kings. The Comets, of course, with the Vancouver Canucks. The Comets Injury Report is brought to you by attorney Robert Sausage, specializing in workers' compensation and personal injury. Go to saucinlaw.com. For the Utica Comets, story remains the same. Carter Banks and Darren Archibald are out with injuries. Jake Vertanen will miss tonight's game as well with an illness. Some other scratches for the Comets: goaltender Joe Canada, defenseman Travis Earhart and John Negrin, Joseph Labate, as well as Andre Pedon are scratched for the Utica Comets. Tonight's starting lineups are brought to you by Cooper Kia. Check out the full lineup of sleek and innovative Kias now at Cooper Kia in Yorkville. The Utica Comets will start Bobby Sanguinetti and Peter Anderson on defense, and the line of Cal O'Reilly, Nicholas Jensen, and Alexander Grenier. For the Manchester Monarchs, Kevin Gravel and Colin Miller on defense, Adrian Kempe, Zach O'Brien, and Nick Shore. There is one change in the Monarchs lineup from last night. 2 today. That is an injury to David Vanderguluk, who comes out and opens the door for tough guy Josh Gratton to get in the lineup for the Manchester Monarchs. The goaltending matchup the same as yesterday. Patrick Bartasek, who didn't start the series as the starter, coming in to replace injured Jean-Francois Berube, who is not dressed today. Bartasek will get the start after making 22 saves on 25 shots last night. Jacob Markstrom in 22 games has a 2.11 goals against average and a .926 save percentage so far here in the playoffs. They're looking for a bounce-back game out of Markstrom. They need one. Nowhere left to go. Comets down 3-1. Anthem and puck drop next. This is Comets Hockey on TSN 1040 and 94.9 K-Rock.
Dawn's early light, what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. That a flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the brave and the
Lennon's Jewelers, Clinton Tractor, Sims Metal Management, Ancora, Indium Corporation, Murphy Excavating, and Dr. Douglas Hurd DDS.
He scores!
The puck drops now. Here is the voice of the Comets, Brendan Burke.
On June 14, 2013, the American Hockey League officially approved the relocation of the Vancouver Canucks AHL franchise to the city of Utica, New York. Today, 1 day shy of the 2-year anniversary of that date, the Utica Comets are hosting Game 5 of the Calder Cup Finals and are trying to hold off elimination at the hands of the Manchester Monarchs. The Monarchs, behind a 6-3 win last night, have a 3-1 series lead. This is the 51st and final home game of the regular season for Utica. It marks the 40th time they have sold out this intimate setting. 3,835 all dressed in white, paying witness to the final game of the season here for Utica at home, hoping it is not the final game of the season overall. As the puck drops, we are underway, and it's thrown into the Utica zone off the pads of defenseman Peter Anderson, and then bounced right back behind him as the crowd gets into it immediately here tonight. 12 seconds in, Anderson ridden down along the end wall by Nick Shore. Cal O'Reilly gets involved. Anderson down along the ice, the puck under there somewhere as he gets up. Nick Shore steps away, brought it to the front, and lost a handle on it. Nicholas Jensen will duck back behind the net for the Utica Comets. Jensen picking up speed, charging straight up the ice to the red line, tried to maneuver his way in, lost it to O'Brien, gathered up by O'Reilly for Utica, and smacked around Patrick Bartasek, the goaltender in net for the Manchester Monarchs, making just his second ever professional start during the playoffs. Colin Miller behind the goal for Sean Backman. As Backman takes it, slides it across, Kevin Gravel led it ahead. Conacher right off the bench, got there and dumps it down, taking a hit from Paul Bissonnette in the process. This one jam-packed ahead for Manchester. Berchi got over to take it away, and an offsides call will draw the whistle here from linesman Shender Alfonso. That leads us into the officials tonight, brought to you by the Dove Eye and Laser Center in New Hartford and Dr. Anthony Palumbo. Referees are Mark Lemelin and Tom Chmielewski, linesman Shender Alfonso and John Grant. Last game, the Comets will have last change as well, as the Monarchs put out the top line potentially in all of the American Hockey League. Jordan Wheel, Michael Mersch, and the AHL MVP Brian O'Neill, as Mersch and DeFazio get into a shoving match before the puck is even dropped. The Comets counter this line with Acton, DeFazio, and Shinkarik. And as the puck drops, it is Wheel punching it back to the captain. That is defenseman Vincent Laverty. Then Bodnarchuk all the way across the ice. O'Neill will steer it in. Markstrom out of his net to play it. First time he's touched the puck tonight. No shots on goal for either side. We've played a minute and 15 seconds. Along the boards, here's a chance for Wheel to cut in. He put it on net. Save made by Markstrom. Picked up by Wheel behind the goal. Wheel looking to center. Laid back down. Mersch to Wheel. And it's Wheel off along the boards. Chased after by Acton. Slips away from him. Down into the corner for O'Neill to the line. Laverty winds but can't shoot. Now does. Shot it wide. Tipped as well. Then Mersch wrapped one off the outside of the cage. Picked up by O'Neill down low. Stopping and starting, trying to get away from Frank Corrado. Corrado can't pry it off his stick. Near side boards, Wheel drops it off. Bodnarchuk coming after it. DeFazio puts a good shoulder into him. Acton can't get the puck though. Bodnarchuk behind the net. O'Neill is there. Center to pass that's out to the line. Crescenzi will keep the play alive for Manchester as they make a line change in the offensive zone. Mersch for Crescenzi. He'll let it roll on through, and Nick Ebert pinches in to punch it back behind the net. Corrado to Shinkarik. Comets still can't clear it out as Shinkarik is stapled by Auger. Shinkarik swiped it back out and will get it out of the zone, at least long enough to get a couple of fresh legs out there for Utica. Glendenning, Friesen, Conacher all race back into the play as Auger works on the tired Frank Corrado. Auger spun one off a skate of Berchi, and it winds up wide of the goal. Picked up down deep by Josh Gratton in his first game of the Calder Cup Finals. Played to Auger and sticked away. Glendenning will rush ahead for Utica. Glendenning from center will jam it down the wall. Bardysak will stop it behind the net. And picked up by Miller, nearly given away in front after pressure from Friesen. Conacher couldn't get there. Pushed in by Gratton. The Comets will have some time as the Monarchs make a change as Glendenning gathers it up behind the goal with 17:10 to go on the clock. First period, no score. Comets need this game or the season is over. The Monarchs will be champions. Dumped in by the Comets as it bangs around the boards. Colin Miller to come grab it. Across the ice, and it is Gravel. Rink wide feed, puts it on the stick of Zach O'Brien, maneuvers into the zone. His shot is blocked by Anderson, and then Gaunt's able to knock down O'Brien. Puck still loose, and Shore will punch it around the back of the Utica net. Steered on now by Adrian Kempe to Bodnarchuk at the point. Funky hop off the back wall, narrowly missed coming back in front of the goal, and then played around Sanguinetti to Brendan Gaunts, and Gaunts will slip it on, intended for Zaleski. Bounce back towards him, and here's Gaunts with speed to the outside of Laverty. Gaunts powers one off the outside of the net, skips off the glass. Biega able to hold it in. It bounced off the pads of Kempe. Back out to center. Biega with speed, charging down the far side. Resting a shot. Held on to awkwardly by the goaltender Bardysak, but he does hang on for the save. First couple of chances for the Comets come 3 minutes and 42 seconds in. The Manchester Monarchs dominated the opening period of play last night, despite the fact the score was 2-2 after one. They jumped out, played a desperate brand of hockey, and they really controlled the start and never relinquished control of the game despite the two late first period goals by the Comets that had the score tied. But at no point did the Comets really ever control the game last night. As it's played by O'Reilly behind the offensive zone net. O'Reilly knocked off the puck, gathers it back on. And O'Reilly with help now from Alex Grenier. O'Reilly looked to go to the point, and as he did, he got belted down to the ice. And as it came out to center, Jensen brings it back in down the wall. Quick wrist shot sailed high off the glasses. Bardysak again lunging for a shot that he could not collect. Biega's shot blocked by Dowd. Dowd pushes ahead for Backman. Joining him on the play is Forbert, the defenseman on the far side, chipped wide of the net. And then Biega with a poke check on Backman. Now dealing with Paul Bissonnette. Jensen turned the puck over. Bissonnette trying to power through to the front, denied by Biega. Right point, Miller with a blast and a glove save from Markstrom. And here's our first scrum in front of the goal. Backman getting into it with Jensen. And then Bissonnette trying to come after him, and Corrado doing his best to keep him out of the pile. This was the standard operating procedure last night that got the Comets in trouble. Scrums after the whistle, especially with guys like Paul Bissonnette and players that the Monarchs are more than willing to trade penalty minutes for anyone on the Comets roster with. The linesmen are able to push everybody apart will not stop them from shouting at one another as they make their way back towards the benches. Both teams make changes here, and the top line reemerges for Mike Stothers. The 53-year-old head coach of the Manchester Monarchs, the AHL Coach of the Year this season in his first season in Manchester, spent the previous 3 as the head coach of Moose Jaw in the Western Hockey League. That's amateur hockey. As Anderson wraps up Mersch off the draw, but Mersch cycles it behind the net. Now O'Neill and Sanguinetti pushing and shoving. O'Neill works it on for Wheel. Wheel back to O'Neill. Left point Gravel. Gravel's wrist shot tipped off Anderson's skates and off to the wall, but gathered up by Wheel, given away to Sanguinetti. Fed on now Shinkaruk, saucered across, and here's DeFazio. In on the right side, cuts back, throws to the front. Nobody got a piece of it. It winds up in the corner, takes a friendly hop for Manchester, and O'Neill got it to center and got blasted by DeFazio. Puck picked up by Wheel. He'll bring it back down behind the net. Quickly centering, O'Neill pivots. Right side, Miller walking in with a blast, and a save made by Markstrom. Clendening will find the rebound, protected off the glass and out of the zone. It rolls past Gravel, and Shinkaruk will apply the pressure. Miller stops behind the net to shake Hunter Shinkaruk. He'll go to the bench for a change as Friesen, Conacher, and Berchi comes out onto the ice for Utica. 5.5 minutes gone in a scoreless first period. Manchester out shooting Utica just, though, by a 3-1 margin. Crescenzi has it pinned in front of the Monarchs bench. Sprays back to Gravel, and now it's Miller trying the far side. Pushed up ice. Crescenzi defended well by Friesen. That caused an offsides as they both went down to the ice. And the whistle has sounded, and a face-off will be placed out in the neutral zone. Mohawk Honda, the official Honda dealer of the Comets broadcast here on K-Rock. Browse their exclusive inventory online at MohawkHonda.com. 14 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in our opening period. Jacob Markstrom trying to bounce back as he has done so many times during this postseason. Not necessarily from poor performances, but just losses in general. The Comets are an anomaly, a team that has been able to lose 10 games and are still playing here in the Calder Cup finals. It is not often you can find a team that can lose 10 games and still have a chance to win a championship when it comes down to playoff hockey. Manchester has lost a total of 4, including 1 here in the finals. In fact, the only team that beat them twice was Portland, who played them in the very first round. Here's Gaunt spinning one through to the front, looking for Hamilton. It was just out of his reach. Wasey Hamilton on the boards, now back for Zaleski. Zaleski, as the Comets trying to assert themselves in the offensive zone, back behind the net. Gaunt's after it there. He and Shore come together. Shore worked it on for Kempe, and Kempe's pass was in the skates of Laverty. He's tangling there with Zaleski. Hamilton tied up his man Kempe, but it's pushed on, and O'Brien. His shot wobbled wide of the goal as Sanguinetti made life difficult for him. Hamilton's hit rattled the glass on Nick Shore, and then Zaleski powers this one off ice. It'll serve as a dump in for the Utica Comets. Conacher, Friesen, Berchi coming back out for Utica. And Conacher finishes his check on Eber trying to rush up the ice. Here's Berchi trying to sneak in on the right wing boards, but the puck just a little bit too far out in front of him. Near side wing, it's taken by Dowd. Dowd to forward. He almost turned it over. Monarchs can't get out of the zone. Held in by Clendening for the moment. Bissonnette digs it out of his skates and forced it to Huskins back at the Comets blue line. Berchi will bang it down the wall. Bartosak out of the goal. Here is Forborg back behind. Takes a healthy hit from Friesen. The puck continued on. Bissonnette will skate with it for Manchester. Denied entry by Clendening. Second effort, he followed it up and dumped it down. Markstrom hard around the glass, comes into Corey Conacher's protection, and it's slipped by everyone and out to Sven Berchi. The former first-round pick for the Calgary Flames pushed it ahead, and then it's kicked back onto the stick of Kevin Gravel for Manchester. 12.5 minutes to go. Cal O'Reilly steals it, walks in, fires, and it's pushed away by Bartosak. Jensen followed up that shot, couldn't get it on goal. A gratuitous giveaway by Manchester in their own zone, and O'Reilly had nothing to do but shoot and tried to overpower Bartosak there, who just fended it off more than saved the puck cleanly. 12:10 now left in the first. Viega's pass comes to O'Reilly in the slot. Dishes Jensen with a shot, and a sprawled out pad saved by Bartosak. Down on his stomach, he flared out the leg pads and got it with the right one. But the Comets pressure the best it's been at any point in the first 8 minutes. Here's Grenier coming back in. Drop pass O'Reilly to back to Grenier. Backhanded just wide. Jensen couldn't get there to knock that one in. Sanguinetti ties up with Mersch. Puck freed behind the goal for Gravel. To the far wing, it's taken by O'Neill and handled back. behind the goal line for Manchester. Laverty back to the right side. O'Neill canceled out by Anderson, but the puck flutters out into the center circle. Sanguinetti back up ice for Will Acton. Tried to float it in. The bouncing puck pulled away from Shinkarik, and we get a hand pass called here against Manchester, which breaks the action, which has been tilted towards Patrick Bartosak in the Manchester zone. 11:21 to go in the first. This is Utica Comets hockey, the Calder Cup Finals on TSN 1040 and 94.9 K-Rock.
Accelerate your game with the Accelerate Sport Complex on Judd Road in Whitesboro. At Accelerate Sports, you can get sports-specific individual or group instruction. And with their new fully equipped fitness center, performance food center, and smoothie bar, Accelerate Sports can meet all your athletic and fitness needs. Visit accelerate-sports.com to book your league, event, or training session, or to find out more about their new youth summer programs. Accelerate your game using the area's largest indoor sports and fitness facility, the Accelerate Sports Complex on Judd Road in Whitesboro.
Tom Cavallo's Restaurant is your summer destination for dining and good times. Stop by Cavallo's Restaurant Tuesdays for the best chicken wings in town. Just $11.99 for 20 wings. Or if clams are more your style, Cavallo's has them by the dozen for just $2.99 on Wednesdays. At Comets fans, head to Cavallo's to watch the Calder Cup Finals live from the main bar and enjoy 2 for $5 specials on all domestic drafts and bottles during the games. Revisit an area landmark. Cavallo's Restaurant, located at 40 Genesee Street in the heart of New Hartford.
Looks all the way over.
This is the Utica Comets 2015 Calder Cup playoffs on 94.9 K-Rock.
Patrick Bartosak didn't even dress as the backup in games 1 and 2 of the Calder Cup Finals, but inserted in the first period of game 3 for an injury for J.F. Berube, and won game 4 for the Monarchs. Has started game 5 with some special saves that have kept this game scoreless with 11 minutes to play in the opening period. Hunter Shinkarik will dump it around the back of Patrick Bartosak, the 22-year-old out of the Czech Republic. Shinkarik finishes the check. Clendenning takes a shot that was rifled wide but wasn't seen by Bartosak until it clanged off the glass behind him. Josh Gratton couldn't find the puck. Brandon DeFazio Ken streaking in on the left side, gets around Laverty. DeFazio to the front, it's tipped away from an incoming Shinkarik. Now it's Gratton up ice, handing for Auger. Auger run into by Hamilton, and the big 6'7" Justin Auger stays on his feet despite a healthy hit from Hamilton. Puck up the wall. Hamilton steers it on for Gaunce. Into the zone goes Zaleski. Gaunce tries to get it to him. Zaleski cuts back, dances, still handles the puck. Now he tried to dish it over for Hamilton, and it's blocked away. Some pretty nifty stick handling maneuvers for Mike Zaleski. Nearly got himself an open look at the net, but couldn't finish that pass off the ice. Here's a chance for O'Brien to dump it around the back of Jacob Markstrom. Cut off by Corrado, and now Corrado and Shore come together. Zaleski joins the party. Adrian Kempe will as well. Jammed free. Brendan Gaunce lost it, poked away in front, turned over. They score. Tucked right between the legs of Jacob Markstrom. It is Adrian Kempe getting the game's first goal. 10:02 into the first period. 8th goal of the playoffs for Adrian Kempe, coming off another Comets turnover in their own zone. Brendan Gaunce's pass was intended backwards towards the goal, but it was supposed to go right to Mike Zaleski. The puck rolled under his stick. It came to Nick Shore, and instead of taking the quick shot, he made one move and dropped it back, and the change of directions opened the door for Adrian Kempe to slide it through the legs of Jacob Markstrom. 1-0 Manchester. 9:58 to go in our opening period. He just joined the Monarchs on April 14th as a 19-year-old, and boy, has he been instrumental in their postseason success. Nick Shore, Zach O'Brien getting the assist on the first goal of the game, and the Comets trying to answer right back. Alex Friesen to the front, and Conacher couldn't get his stick free of Miller. Jammed to the side of the goal. A wrestling match behind the net knocks down Miller and Conacher on top of one another. They got back up and went back down again. Now it is Friesen stepping out of the pile, sliding to the blue line. Sanguinetti drags and shoots just high off the glass. A big pile in front did not allow Bartosak to see that shot again. Puck stopped behind the goal by Colin Miller. The right wing side, now Paul Bissonnette. Bissonnette through center. Up ice for Dowd, and Dowd working his way in on Clendening. Clendening got a stick on that shot and knocked it over the glass and out of play. The Manchester Monarchs have scored first for the 15th time in their playoff season. They have won the previous 14. The Comets have some work to do. They're down 1-0, 9:06 to go in the opening period. This is Utica Comets hockey on TSN 1040 and 94.9 K-Rock. It's Manchester with a 1-0 lead over the Utica Comets. 9 minutes and 6 seconds remaining here in the first period. Adrian Kempe, who has 8 goals in 17 playoff games, has now scored a goal in each of the 3 games played here in Utica. 4 goals over that stretch. And the Comets just can't find the answer for the 19-year-old from Sweden. While all the attention has been paid to the Wheel, O'Neill, and Mersch line, which is on the ice right now for Manchester, there are certainly plenty of other scoring options for this potent Manchester Monarchs offense. Comets get the puck in deep. Grenier with a hit, but can't come up with it. Then O'Reilly and Jensen work together to pry it off the wall. Grenier came over, pushed it out to center, but there is Wheel trying to stick it past Alex Biega. Wheel continues to work, and now Corrado takes a hit behind the net from O'Neill. And then as it pinballs around, O'Reilly able to swat it to safety along the boards. Grenier starting the charge, giving to Jensen, who will pitchfork it in, and the bouncing one slides wide of Patrick Bartasak. Back behind the net, Jensen got a stick on it, but it still rolled through. And then Mersch's pass, but still got its way all the way over to Brian O'Neill. Up back and a drop for Jordan Wheel. Risks a shot wide of Markstrom. That'll be picked up by Conacher, a step inside his own zone. Floated on now for O'Reilly. In across the line, intended for Clendening. Batted down back to the red line. And Ken Huskins will fire in. Bartasak out to stop it. 8 minutes to play in the first period. Comets came from down 2-0 in the first period last night to tie it at 2 at the end of 1. Their deficit is just 1 at the current moment. As Alex Friesen has this one jump off his stick all the way down the ice, and the Comets guilty of icing here, and a face-off back inside the Utica zone, and the Comets denied the change on defense that they were trying to make. Swifties, the official roster on above the Utica Comets broadcast here on K-Rock, as well as Labatt being the official beer of the Comets broadcast here on K-Rock. A special welcome to those tuned in not only in Vancouver on TSN 1040, but everyone who has joined us watching the game live via AHLLive.com. I'm Brendan Burke. This is Game 5 of the Calder Cup Finals. Manchester Monarchs leading the series 3-1. They lead the game 1-0 as a wrist shot comes wide of Jacob Markstrom with 7:40 remaining in our opening period. Sven Berchi, his pass stolen away by Kempe, unable to clear the zone, and so the Comets will try it once more. Wrapped around to the near side, DeFazio right off the bench, lets it roll through, and this will be an icing call. I'm not quite sure. I think DeFazio was nervous about being called for too many men on the ice in the middle of that change, so instead of risking it, he elected to lift his stick and let it go by. And so icing enforced against Utica on back-to-back plays here, but they were able to get DeFazio on the ice. He's really the only guy with fresh legs at this point for Utica. 6 straight road games with a goal for Adrian Kempe in the Calder Cup playoffs. Here's Gravel winding and shooting, and Friesen got a stick on it, and that one jumps way over the glass and out of play. Face-off this time will be on the far side of the ice. And I take that back. They're going to put on the near side of the ice, still inside the Utica Comet zone, but because the whistle came on a puck out of play and not an icing, they're able to get the full line change they were looking for. Biega and Corrado on defense, along with Shinkarik and Acton to play with Brandon DeFazio, who had been out there previously. Acton will go to work on the draw against Jordan Wheel. 3rd round pick in 2010 by the Kings, but has never played a game in the NHL despite 69 points in 73 games this year, and 70 points in last year's season. Here's Michael Mersch to the outside. Viega took it off his stick. Puck still rolled through to the Comets slot, and a penalty called here against Utica on a hook. Will Acton may be the guilty party here for getting his stick on the hands of Michael Mersch. And the first power play of the game will belong to the Manchester Monarchs with 7 minutes and 9 seconds to go in the opening frame. This Comets penalty kill brought to you by Vintage Limousine in Yorkville. The Monarchs last night went 2-4-6 on the power play. Proved to be obviously a deciding factor in a game that finished 6-3 in Manchester's favor. They are 4 for 18 now in the playoffs. In this Calder Cup final overall, which is over 22% overall if you stretch it out to the full playoff. Their 19th game of it. They are 11 for 68, 16%. Laverty works it across the ice, and now it's down. Trying to feed it to Backman. That got shut down, and so he goes to the line for Bodnarchuk, and back to Dowd again. Creeping in all the way over. Laverty scores! A one-timer slipped underneath Markstrom, and it is 2-0 Manchester with a power play goal. That took just 18 seconds into the advantage for the Monarchs to take the 2-0 lead. Vincent Laverty, just his second of the playoffs. The captain for the Monarchs gives Manchester their second 2-goal first period lead in the last 2 games. And aside from one third period tally from Will Acton last night, Manchester has gotten the last 8. It is Dowd and Bodnarchuk on the assist, as the goal credited to the captain Laverty. Markstrom had to go from left to right. He got there but couldn't get his pads down flush to the ice. Here's Zaleski into the left circle. His shot tipped into the slot but collected by the skates of Laverty. And then out to center, it's dumped down the ice, played by the high stick of Peter Anderson. And a face-off will come traveling back out into neutral ice with 6 minutes and 28 seconds to go in the first period. And if the Comets had their backs against the wall at the start of the game, they are pressed as far up against that wall as you can imagine right about now. The Manchester Monarchs have been flexing their muscles on offense over the past couple of games. They were averaging almost 4 goals per game coming into the finals. The Comets had found a way to keep them down offensively in the first 3 games, but between last night's 6-goal explosion and 2 more goals here in the first period tonight, this is the Manchester team that the Comets were hoping not to see, but many of the Eastern Conference teams have been seeing all season long. Here's Grenier rushing right side. Wrist shot, fought off, save made, left the rebounded Bartasek, and Jensen gets it to Grenier. To the blue line. Glendening from Huskins. Wrist shot, back door. Comets. O'Reilly can't tuck it in as Bartasek dove back to cut off the far post. 5:50 to go as the Monarchs work it back down. Glendening swats at it, but it's taken away, and it's Auger behind the net. Curling and losing an edge, but still playing it to Mersch, who tried to tuck a wraparound. Backhanded one in front. That one banked in off the arm of Mersch. And Manchester has scored again. It is 3-0 Monarchs with only 5:39 remaining. First period action. And Manchester has scored 3 times on 7 shots. It is Mersch who will get the goal. It didn't come off his stick, though. They will take a look at this one to see if he forced it intentionally into the goal with his arm. It certainly banked in off his arm. And they will go to the video replay system to take another look. It is ruled a goal on the ice. Whether this is a 3-0 lead or it remains 2-0 will now be determined by Mark Lemelin and Tom Chmielewski, the referees in tonight's contest. But it has gone from bad to worse in a hurry here at the Utica Memorial Auditorium. Manchester with a goal from Kempe at 10:02, followed up 3:07 later on a power play goal from Laverty. That was at 13:09, and if this goal would count, it would come at 14:21. Again, in the American Hockey League, it is a limited video review system. It is a one-camera look. It is straight overhead, which, for what they are reviewing right now, is a fine angle to have. Sometimes it comes into play where what they're trying to look at doesn't show up in the radius that the camera provides. This was right on the doorstep and should clearly be in view for the referees to look at. And again, they are trying to determine whether the puck was basically thrown into the net by the right arm of Michael Mersch. Puck was in the air, and before it landed, Mersch kind of maybe gave it a little shoulder check towards the goal line, and it popped into the empty cage. And they are taking quite a few moments to review this goal, and why not? This is a monumentally important decision. There's no question whether the puck went in or not. It is the manner in which it was directed there that they are trying to determine right now. Manchester only has, I believe, 8 shots on goal. Here comes the decision from the officials. And it is no goal! They say Michael Mersch used his arm in an illegal fashion to direct that puck into the net. And so instead of a 3-0 lead for Manchester, the hill is still tall, but the Comets can still see the top of it. 2-0 Monarchs. They take a goal off the board with 5.5 to go here in the first period. Does that provide a little spark for the Comets? Something to get them going. Conacher to Berchi to the backhand, and Bartosak the save. He has had to be and has been good here in the start of Game 5. Laverty to retrieve it behind the net. Bumped into by Friesen. Laverty stumbles around but gets his footing back. Played it in the air back out to center. And Conacher able to kick this one ahead. Conacher up ice with Friesen. 2-on-2 from the outside. Snaps a shot that sailed wide off the corner glass. Clendenning holds it. Took a hit from Dowd as it's punched by him. It is Berchi feeding it across, and Corrado will get it deep. Bartosak came out of his goal to plate. He needs help from Laverty. Steered on for Mersch. He gets run into by Jensen, and then it's Biega slipping it down for Cal O'Reilly, the Comets captain, with 4:40 to go in the first. O'Reilly moves out to the slot, looking for something, floated to the front, blocked down before it got there. Grenier turning, puck in the crease, jammed on goal, one saved by Bartosak. Puck is still loose just outside the crease. In the slot, Comets get to it, played off the boards. Corrado holds it at the line, but can't do it the second try. O'Neill kicked it out of the zone. Jensen will play it back for Biega. 4:20 to go. Shots unofficially just 7-6 in favor of Utica. Again, that last shot on the disallowed goal doesn't count as a shot or a goal. Here's Brendan Gaunce. Can't maneuver it around the outside, working on Forbert. And now this the other way is Grattan, pocket picked by Brendan Gaunce. Gaunce slid it over for Hamilton. Lacey Hamilton down the left wing wall. Step past his man Gravel. And then it's Hamilton back at the net. Continues to keep those legs moving. Drops off for Zaleski. Zaleski tries to shimmy out from behind the net. Throws it into the pads of Bartosak, and the rebound cleared away. Not enough juice for an icing. Bartosak reached for the sweeping poke check. Made Zaleski stumble a little bit, but then was off balance when the puck was thrown back into his crease and nearly deflected it in himself. Puck skated ahead and then turned over by the Comets. Sanguinetti and DeFazio couldn't get on the same page. There is an injured Derek Forbort, defenseman for Manchester, limping to the bench behind the play. He is off the ice now as Sanguinetti, challenged by Colin Miller to dump it down before the red line, and so icing is called here against the Utica Comets. The Manchester Monarchs have dealt with injuries in this series so far. They lost veteran defenseman Jeff Schultz early on in Game 1 after taking a hard hit. They lost their starting goaltender in the first minutes of Game 3. They also lost the AHL MVP for the majority of Game 3, missed about 56 minutes of the Comets' lone win, but returned in time to play in yesterday's 6-3 victory for Manchester. A conversation here between the referee and the linesman. And I'm not sure what they're calling here. Bobby Sanguinetti, they're saying he should have been on the ice for this icing, and it took a long time to get it sorted out. But Sanguinetti is being brought off the ice, and Adam Clendenning will have to go sit on the bench. 3 minutes and 10 seconds to go. And the Comets win the faceoff in their own zone. Alex Biega off the glass. Hunter Shinkarik chasing after Colin Miller. Miller plays it on for Shore. And this is Adrian Kempe going back deeper into the Manchester zone. Played ahead for Kempe. As he brings it down the wing, it got a little far out in front of him. Biega will take over, quickly turn it ahead. DeFazio into the zone, but didn't have a lot of speed. Drop pass, Shinkarik tried to return it, and it's taken from him by Sean Backman. Shinkarik ties him up. DeFazio grabs the loose puck. And then a pass in front of the Manchester net, handled on one knee by Laverty, and he played it out to center. DeFazio finishes his check on Kempe. And the Comets muscle this one out of their zone, but take it and fired right back in from center ice off the glove of Jacob Markstrom. 2 minutes and 25 seconds to go in the first. Biega with a legal hand pass sends the puck around the boards behind Markstrom. Far wing, and it's Berchi. Give it up after he takes a hit from Auger. Auger, right wing circle with a shot that's blocked by Corrado. Corrado hurries it on for Berchi. Berchi's pass this time connects with Friesen. Friesen tried to feed it on through for Conacher, but it went by him, and Auger carries out through center ice for Manchester. From the red line, he'll dump it down into the far corner with less than 2 minutes to go here in the period. A period in which the Comets have not been drastically outplayed. Maybe not even outplayed at all, but they trail 2-0. Gave up a goal to Kempe after a giveaway, and then a power play tally on a one-timer from Laverty. 2 mistakes, 2 goals on what is just now being read as 6 shots on goal for Manchester, as a shot from Forborth is turned aside by Markstrom. Forborth, the one who limped off the ice in his last shift. Berchi trying to get to the red line, got close enough, so there will be no icing as he'll roll it in behind Patrick Bartasek. King's 5th round pick, just a rookie out of Red Deer. Puck gloved at center ice by Grenier, given to O'Reilly. Able to maneuver his way to the boards. Look for Sanguinetti streaking into the goal. O'Reilly goes across the ice for Anderson instead. Slip to the corner. Sanguinetti is there. Forced in front for Jensen. Turning and shooting. Came to Grenier. He'll turn and shoot. That one blocked wide. 58 seconds to go in the period. Puck sent up, and it's Grenier to hold it in. For Jensen down low. Jensen still digging, being pressured from behind. Puck pinned there along the Zamboni doors. O'Reilly to Jensen to Grenier. Walked in front. Save made. Rebound skitters around. And it's cleared away from danger by Manchester with 40 seconds on the clock. Comets try to come back in. Utica has to wait, though, as Jensen was stuck inside the zone. O'Reilly lifts it. Zaleski sneaks in. Circle shot, and a stretched out split save. Bartasek flailing around. Comets get it to the front, but can't direct it on goal. Hamilton had the last second chance, and then Corrado took down Backman, and a penalty call. Corrado reaching for a puck, lost his stick in the skates of Sean Backman. Both referees signal the tripping call, and the Comets shorthanded with 20.3 remaining, already down 2-0. Face-off will be placed back inside the Utica zone as the Comets just try and get to the intermission with the score holding as is. Hamilton, Biega, Acton, and Huskins are out for this segment of the penalty kill. Will Acton will take the draw against Shore. And Acton ties up, brings it back behind the net. Ken Huskins will handle, wait, slap shot down the ice. Bartasek will stop it back there with 13 seconds remaining. Wheel, pressured by Acton, run down by Hamilton. Played the puck up the wall with 5 seconds to go. Turned over. Here's Acton. 3 seconds left. Sneaking in is Hamilton. Snaps a shot that sailed high. Wheel dumped Hamilton at the end of the period, and then got up with a little punch for Hamilton as well. And those two continuing to shove one another. Acton and Bodnarchuk are being separated by the linesmen as well. Not a bad period for Utica in terms of the way they played, but a disastrous start by allowing 2 goals in a stretch of 3 minutes and 7 seconds at 10:02 and 13:09, and then just over a minute later dodged a bullet where a puck was directed into the net, originally ruled a goal on the ice for Michael Mersch, and then was called back after it was determined he pushed that puck into the net with his arm and not any part of the legal paraphernalia in which he is allowed to direct that puck into the goal with. So the Comets will have to kill 1 minute and 40 seconds when the second period begins here in the second period. And when we come back, we'll have a very special guest with us here in the broadcast booth. The president of the American Hockey League, Mr. David Andrews, will join us on the broadcast when we come back. So stay tuned for that. You're listening to Game 5 of the Calder Cup Finals on TSN 1040 and 94.9 K-Rock.
Ferris, they're the commercial mower specialist. It's unsurpassed reliability. It's one they're able to back up, which is why they're the growing choice among landscape contractors and discriminating homeowners. And when you visit Clinton Tractor on Meadow Street in Clinton, you'll see how the Ferris commitment to quality can help you. Take their patented 4-wheel suspension system. These systems absorb bumps and jolts for a more comfortable ride, keep consistent pressure on the drive wheels for a more secure ride, and cause less wear and tear on your machine for a more reliable ride. And because you're not slowing down to compensate for those rough spots, you'll mow more lawn in less time. You understand the importance of quality. Shouldn't you demand the highest quality from your equipment? To see the complete line of Ferris mowers and find out which is best for you, visit the Caledona family at Clinton Tractor on Meadow Street in Clinton, or you can visit them online at clintontractor.net.
For compassionate and state-of-the-art care, depend on Oneida Healthcare's Circle of Care.
Oneida Healthcare is leading the way in bringing advanced technology to the Utica-Rome region. Only area hospital with the Da Vinci robotic surgery system, giving GYN, urology, and general surgery patients exciting, minimally invasive options with shorter recoveries and fewer complications. Using GPS-like technology, Oneida Healthcare's electromagnetic navigation bronchoscopy system, another area exclusive, provides a minimally invasive approach to accessing difficult-to-reach areas of the lung, greatly aiding in the diagnosis and management of lung disease. And Oneida Healthcare's
online at oneidahealthcare.org.
Do you have uneven
Figured sooner or later people were going to figure out they were selling 34 game packages in California.
Medical Laser Therapeutics. That age everyone overnight. Stop covering it up and fix it today. Visit cnylasercenter.com or call 624-0856. 624-0856.
Looks all the way over. Walker-Timers score! Alex Grenier hammers one home.
This is the Utica Comets 2015 Calder Cup playoffs on 94.9 K-Rock.
Welcome back inside the Utica Memorial Auditorium. 1 period down in Game 5 of the Calder Cup Finals. The Manchester Monarchs lead the series 3-1 and have a 2-0 lead over the Utica Comets after a couple of quick strikes in the middle stages of that first period. And the Comets, already with their backs against the wall, have their work cut out for them moving into period number 2. Brendan Burke here at the Aud, and joined now by the president and CEO of the American Hockey League, Mr. David Andrews. And here we are. I've opened the broadcast with this stat, and that's the fact that on June 14, 2013, the Utica Comets were born into existence. Now, 1 day shy of 2 years from that date, here we are hosting Game 5 of the Calder Cup Finals. It is certainly special for us around here, but from the league's perspective, how special is it to see a team that has come into the league and had this type of success?
Well, it's really remarkable, and it's a credit to Robert Esch and his staff, and Frank D. Ross and the vision that they had in the beginning, and now it's a credit to the fan base here. I said to someone last night, I mean, if you can't have fun here, you can't have fun at a hockey game. I mean, this is as good as it gets in terms of the emotion in the building, and the fans are so into it. I was in Chicago Monday night for Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Finals, and legendary Chicago, that stadium in Chicago is as loud as it gets, and this is just as loud for the size of the building. It's really special, and it's fun coming to the games, watching people tailgating beforehand, and it's just a really terrific environment. And from the league's perspective, we're so thankful that the fan support has been what it has been here, and this year with our All-Star event here as well, and the support the community gave us, we're very appreciative of that, and really very proud of the work that Robert has done here. It's great for our league. I know the Canucks are excited to be here, and they've been rewarded with a really entertaining team. It's they're having a bit of a struggle here against Manchester, but first two games both went to overtime, and last night it got away from them. It's still lots of time left to play here tonight.
And I know you don't pick favorites, and it wouldn't matter where the Calder Cup finals were held, but how nice is it that the event, the marquee event for this American Hockey League, is played in a building that it gets that atmosphere that it so rightfully deserves?
Well, it's great for our league, and I mean, we're pretty fortunate. I think almost every year we've had, I've been involved in the finals, and that's been 21 years now. There's not very many communities where it doesn't resonate, and you don't have a full building, and a lot of excitement for the final series. Last year in St. John's and in Texas, we had sold-out buildings for every game, and it was really exciting. But this is unique. This is a much more energized fan base, I think, than we've seen in most of our other cities. This is something special, and it's really fun to see.
Brendan Burke talking with the president of the American Hockey League, Mr. David Andrews, and I hate that our fans might be getting a little bit spoiled here. They had pretty much all three of the big events of the American Hockey League right here in our backyard, starting with the Frozen Dome Classic at the Carrier Dome in Syracuse, and then the AHL All-Star Classic, and of course here the Calder Cup Finals. So if the Comets were looking to grab some more fans, they had a great season in order to attract some even additional fans into the building.
Yeah, no question, and they're pretty close to our major event next year. We just announced our All-Star Classic will be in Syracuse. It's our 80th anniversary season next year, which is an achievement in itself, I think, in professional sports. And then Syracuse, of course, one of the charter members of the league, so it's going to be fitting to go back to Syracuse, and I'm sure lots of the fans here in Utica will make their way up for that event.
And it will be such a special season, the 80th season in the American Hockey League, and such a different season. You have overseen a lot of changes, including when the AHL and IHL merges into one league. Is this next season and the transition we're going into probably the biggest shift since that day of all the teams shifting, whether it be the relocation or, of course, the affiliation changes that we've seen?
Yeah, I think it is, Brendan. 01 certainly was a kind of a watershed moment for our league when we merged with the International Hockey League and formed one league at the highest level of minor professional hockey. And we benefited from that for 14 years, and it's been a great run. And this past the changes this year, as you said, were significant. We've moved 7 franchises. We've had 4 other affiliation agreements that we've relocated, and that's 11 out of 30 teams. That's a pretty significant change, but it's been driven clearly by the need for some NHL teams to have their affiliate closer to them, and I think of the 11 moves, we had 10 of them actually resulted in sort of in a better geographic alignment. Definitely a major move. It was one that we've been working on for 3 years and trying to work with the California teams to figure out how to give them what they need from a player development point of view.
And some of the news that came out today, and it's been floating around there for the past few months ever since the California teams were announced, is that they're going to be playing a different number of games than the rest of the teams in the league, 68 as compared to 76 for everybody else. Can you talk on that and what that means for the league?
Yeah, well, it's not ideal. It looks a little odd. It's probably not as odd as, well, it's odd, let's face it. It's odd. But when you look at it over 8 months, it's not a tremendously different number of games. And when you look at the travel involved in California coming east to play other teams, it's something that we essentially negotiated. It was one of the things that the California teams really wanted when they decided they would move within the American Hockey League and establish the Pacific Division. So we did a lot of soul searching with our board, and our board decided that it was in the best interest of the league to allow that. I think over time you'll see the number of games played between by the California teams and by the rest of the league start to come a little closer together. There's been a push over the last little while to try to reduce our schedule a little bit further, perhaps down to 72 in time. So we'll see how it plays out over the next year or two. We're pretty comfortable with with what we have and with the way we've aligned our divisions and with our playoff format that we'll confirm down in Hilton Head in July. But I think it'll work, and it's just sort of dancing through how odd it looks is a challenge.
Brendan Burke talking with the president of the American Hockey League, Mr. David Andrews here. First intermission, Comets down 2-0 for the Manchester Monarchs here in Game 5 of the Calder Cup Finals, trying to hold off elimination with Manchester holding a 3-1 series lead. Are there concerns about all of the shifts that are going on here? And if so, what are they? What concerns you most about all the changes that we're seeing moving into next season?
Actually, no. I think we're looking forward to it now. I mean, it was the process that was a concern. It took almost 3 years, and it was very difficult. We left a number of markets that have been very loyal markets to the American Hockey League, and we left because we essentially had no choice. If we were going to keep a 30-team league matching up with the 30 NHL teams, which is really important to our business model, we had to find a way to satisfy those teams' needs. And now that we've done it, I think the California teams are getting pretty good traction with their fan base and season ticket sales. I think it's going to work out there. And moving back to Winnipeg, they're off to a great start as well with their business. And the Montreal Canadiens now moving into St. John's, Newfoundland with the Ice Caps, that's going to work well too. So I can't say that. I think the nerve-wracking part of it all is past us, and we're just looking forward to next year and looking forward to having a successful season out on the West Coast.
Mr. Andrews, thank you so much for joining us here on the broadcast.
Thanks, Brenda.
That's the president of the American Hockey League, Mr. David Andrews. We're coming back. Recap the first period for you. Manchester with a 2-0 lead here in Game 5 of the Calder Cup Finals. This is Utica Comets Hockey on TSN 1040 and 94.9 K-Rock.
Don't be forced to choose between a fixed or variable rate home equity loan. Come to GPO Federal Credit Union where you can have both. GPO's home equity loan gives you an available line of credit so you can take advances whenever you need the money. Fixed or variable rate, you choose, with no applications or approvals needed for each advance. You'll only pay interest on what you borrow as you borrow it. And for a limited time, GPO's home equity loan is as low as 1.99% APR with no closing costs.
Membership eligibility required. Credit restrictions apply. GPO is federally insured by the NCUA. Equal housing lender.
In a world where not taking your prescriptions as directed takes the lives of 125,000 Americans a year, a new
Central New York businesses are looking for complete documentation services, they turn to the professionals at Avalon Document Services. Avalon is your one-stop source for document scanning and imaging, business printing and copying, marketing materials and stationery printing, design, build, and large format printing, plus they can handle your indoor and outdoor signage needs. Avalon, the business document experts, offer free same-day rush service and free pickup and delivery. Visit teamavalon.com or stop by 54 Franklin Square in Utica to see what Avalon Document Services can do for you.
Looks all the way over. One-timer score! Alex Grenier hammers one home.
This is the Utica Comets 2015 Calder Cup Playoffs on 94.9 K-Rock.
Comets down 2-0 to Manchester after one. It is a 3-1 series lead for the LA Kings affiliate. The Comets trying to stave off elimination and trying to do so on home ice and force a Game 6 back in Manchester, New Hampshire. Utica Comets fell behind after, again, they didn't play poorly. And actually, they outshot Manchester 9-7 in the first period, but gave up a goal. Adrian Kempe at 10:02 off a turnover. Comets got a little sloppy in their own zone. They tried to pass it back towards their goal, which they do quite often, but they normally execute properly. This time, the puck went right under the stick of Mike Zaleski and right onto the stick of Nick Dowd, and instead, or excuse me, of Nick Shore. And instead of Nick Shore just firing it right into the goaltender Markstrom, he instead took one move to his left and then dropped it back off behind him. And Adrian Kempe was able to score his 8th of the playoffs, his 4th in the last 3 games. Those, of course, all coming here at the On. 3:07 later, it was a power play tally. The Comets were guilty of 2 penalties in the first period. One was Will Acton for hooking at 12:51. That led to Laverty's one-timer goal, his 2nd of the postseason at 13:09 from Dowd and Bodnar-Chuk. The other Comets penalty still ongoing. Frank Corrado called for tripping at 19:39. And the Comets will start the second period with 1 minute and 40 seconds to kill. The Comets dodged a bullet. There was a goal that was disallowed after it was ruled it was pushed into the net with the arm of Michael Mersch in an illegal manner. And the Utica Comets could have been down 3-0. The damage is just 2. We'll see if they can push the reset button again tonight. They battled back from down 2 yesterday. We'll see if they can do it again today. This is Game 5 of the Calder Cup Finals on TSN 1040 and 94.9 K-Rock.
Feel the joy when you upgrade today at your local Carbone Auto Group dealership in Utica, Yorkville, and Rome. Get the best deals of the year when you upgrade to a new, safer, more reliable vehicle for less than you're paying now. Browse our large selection of 20 different manufacturers. You always get what you want at Carbone, like low monthly payments on new, pre-owned, and certified pre-owned vehicles, and up to 110% of Kelly Blue Book trade-in value. Plus, enjoy APR financing as low as 0% for up to 60 months or no payments for 90 days on select models. View all of our great specials online at CarboneCars.com or visit our convenient locations. Carbone, delivering joy since 1929.
Trade-in value based on Kelly Blue Book fair trade-in value less reconditioning costs. Special APR and payment at the Pearl office for qualified customers. Not all customers will qualify. See dealer for details. Offers expire June 30th, 2015.
Mayhem is everywhere.
Hi, I'm the automated hold system for your cutaway claims department. To get forwarded to the wrong person, press 1. To get put on hold for 40 minutes and then disconnected, press 2. To repeat your story to the entire company, including the cleaning staff, press 3. To do something that isn't stupid, hang up and get Allstate.
The only insurance company who guarantees your claim experience won't be mayhem. Like me.
The claim satisfaction guarantee. Another way Allstate is changing car insurance for good.
Only Allstate guarantees your claim will be fast, fair, and hassle-free, or your money back. No questions asked. To get a quote, call the Carroll Northrop Agency in Oneida at 363-5770 today. That's the Carroll Northrop Agency, 363-5770. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Premium credit varies based on vehicle involved. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company, Northbrook, Illinois.
Encora has been delighting diners who visit the Stanley Theater for years. Encora's tapas and dinners have earned them waves, and now you can try their soups, paninis, and pasta dishes for lunch. Stop by Encora 5 to 7 for happy hour drink specials, and try out their delicious crepes and paella. Mouth-watering Mediterranean and Italian cuisine. Next door to the Stanley Theater.
Looks all the way over.
This is the Utica Comets 2015 Calder Cup playoffs on 94.9 K-Rock.
Comets trailed the series 3-1. They trailed a hockey game 2-0 at the start of the second period. Game 5 of the Calder Cup Finals. And Frank Corrado sitting in the box for Utica for the next 90 seconds as Jordan Wheel brings it into the zone. and rolls it towards the goal line, and Markstrom will poke it to the corner, but pushed out to the blue line, carried and shot by Shore that went wide as Markstrom a little late to react on the shot that was intended to come his way. Here's Wheel backing off to the top of the circle, sent to Miller and across the ice. Wheel again closing in with a shot that hit the skates of Biega, wrapped around the boards. O'Neill will keep it alive. He gets hit hard by Wasey Hamilton. Still 60 seconds to go on the power play for Manchester as Colin Miller holds the zone. Swung it to O'Neill and dropped for Shore. Shore steps down the wing into the circle with a shot that Huskins got a stick on. It caroms around the boards. Miller there to keep it in. Played to O'Neill. Harassed by Biega, but it's still Shore dishing it over. Wheel gets there and just able to hold it in along that blue line. Wheel jammed down to the goal line. Taken by Shore. 1 minute gone in the period. Still 40 seconds remaining on the kill. Miller at the right point. Long change here in the second period for Utica. This is the same four that started the period. Near side it is Miller. Across the ice for Wheel. Wheel waits at the high slot. Back across the ice, Shore to the front for O'Neill. It jumped off his stick and wound up in the corner. 20 seconds left on the kill. Markstrom had it jammed into his pads on the goal line at the post. He gets the whistle with 16 seconds remaining on the kill. 18:36 to go in our second period. Comets down 2-0 because of goals that came 3 minutes and 7 seconds apart. First at 10:02 from Adrian Kempe, then at 13:09 from Vincent Laverty. And the Utica Comets down 2-0. We'll see what their response is here in the second. It's not fair to judge them based on the first 124 because of the penalty that was called to Corrado at the end of the first. But once they get back to 5 aside, they will have to reassert themselves into the hockey game. They controlled large portions of the first. We'll see about the second. Comets won the face-off and clear it down. Patrick Bartyshak waiting behind his goal with it. Leaves it on now for Bodnarchuk, and then dressed off. It is taken by Vincent Laverty. Laverty straight through the middle. Gives on now for Down. Power play is over as Backman wires one off the glass. It kicks all the way down the ice. Nicholas Jensen will race after it. The goaltender Bartyshak out to play. It just got it away from Jensen. Incoming came Grenier. He can't come up with the puck either. And now Down slips it down the boards. Jammed on into the zone. The Comets end, but Huskins punched it back out to neutral ice. Down collecting there. The Kings' 7th round pick back in 2012 pushed one high, and as it bangs off the glass, it's back out into the Monarch zone. They go D to D. This is Ebert playing in just his second game of the playoffs. Last night was his first. Glendening into the skates of Grenier. Here's a shot from Grattan playing in his first game of the finals, and it's deflected off the glass. And then bounced on the boards. Glendening threw a hit on Auger, and the Comets just clear it to center, but the Monarchs trying to bring it right back in. Crescenzi, though, will back it off into his own end. Lots of space, far side. Grattan gets to the red line. He'll roll it in. Markstrom waiting back there. Steered on for Huskins. Huskins took the heavy hit, but here's Berchi burning up the ice. 3-on-2 in. Across for Conacher. Winding, shooting, and Bartyshak kicked it away. Spun to the front for Glendening. He lost it. Here's an on-man rush for Manchester. 2-on-1 in. Anderson back. O'Brien to the outside. Back across. What a spectacular save from Markstrom. Down in a full split, getting that one-timer shot on the 2-on-1. Still a 2-0 Manchester lead. Miller a shot redirected by O'Brien and out of play. An absolutely incredible save by the Utica Comets goaltender. 2-on-1 executed perfectly across the ice, and Markstrom needed every inch of his 6'6" frame. Wow, what a stop. 16 minutes and 47 seconds to go in period number 2. Again, that's one of those stops that you remember if this game gets back to a one-goal contest and the Comets are still alive in it. That's the save that keeps them in it right now. The score and the time both working against Utica. As the puck is grabbed by Sanguinetti and brought in. Opens up, takes a shot, gloved and held by Patrick Bartyshak. DeFazio going hard to the net, and then a couple of guys coming after him. DeFazio looks like he is being scolded by the referee right now. I don't believe they're calling any penalties here, as the Comets are trying to get to Patrick Bartyshak. Why not? 22-year-old out of the Czech Republic was the WHL Goalie of the Year in 2012-2013. While playing for Red Deer, won the Del Wilson Trophy. This year, he was the backup to Jean-Francois Berube, still is to a certain extent. Had the 6th lowest goals against average in the AHL's regular season, but he only played in 28 games. Berube played in 52. Then Berube started the first 17 games, the first 1,019 minutes of the playoffs for Manchester, and 26 seconds. Before Patrick Bartosak was thrust into action in the first period of Game 3. Grenier can't get the shot on goal off the faceoff, and as it wobbles to the boards, Michael Mersch taken off the puck by Grenier. Monarchs will try the near side. Up the ice, and O'Neill can't keep up with it. Corrado rolls it back down for Utica. Grenier lining up Laverty behind the net. Finished the check, but the puck was dropped off before it got there. And then played out of the zone. It'll be Viega to race back for the icing call that is made against the Manchester Monarchs. The Utica Comets Calder Cup broadcast on K-Rock is brought to you in part by Clinton Tractor, Joe Tahan's Furniture, GPO Federal Credit Union, Herb Phillipson's Beer Here, and the United Way. Game 5 of the Calder Cup Finals. We appreciate those tuned in Vancouver on TSN 1040, those watching on AHL Live, whether you're at home or at one of the fine establishments serving cold beverages here on a warm June evening. And, of course, our loyal listeners here in the Mohawk Valley on 94.9 K-Rock. I'm Brendan Burke. This is live Calder Cup playoff action from the Utica Memorial Auditorium. Puck tucked on goal by Mike Zaleski, and it ramped off the stick of Bartosak. Now it's Hamilton trying to shed the defender, punches it out to the line. Viega slips it behind the net for Zaleski, who overskates. Bodnerchuk a chance to clear it around the glass, but knocked down nicely by Wasey Hamilton. Zaleski comes digging as well. Corrado pinched in, jammed it free. It rolls on goal, and it is covered up by Bartosak. And then Zaleski went and stood ever so close, but not touching Patrick Bartosak, which draws a few Monarchs in his direction. Manchester will make a change, bring out Dowd, Backman, and Auger. And the Comets will weigh their options, and second-year head coach Travis Green will go with Conacher, Berchi, and now Cal O'Reilly. The first real shift we've seen on what Travis Green does with his lines. Typically, this is Alex Friesen's spot. So O'Reilly put a face-off to the wall, but Conacher couldn't come up with it. And then on the far wing, it is Forbort trying to clear it out. Nice job by Sanguinetti to hold his own. Conacher tips it around the defender, catches back up to it on the other side, and then rifles one wide of the net. O'Reilly lets it roll to Sanguinetti. Sanguinetti back down for Cal O'Reilly. In his skates, played to the point. Sanguinetti moving to the wall. Played by Conacher, shoved wide of the cage as Conacher took a healthy hit. Near side wing, it is Backman. Played up ice for Down. Anderson able to run into him. And now as it's floated back out into the neutral zone, Anderson will come back and grab it. Far side boards, it's taken by Bobby Sanguinetti. Back to O'Reilly, try to play it to Sanguinetti, a little sloppy there, and the Comets have to duck back behind the goal to get away. Sanguinetti able to one-hand it out of the zone, but it comes right to Colin Miller and dumped back down in the Comets' end. Marstrom out of the net to play it. Shots are 12-9 in favor of Utica, but they trail 2-0 on the scoreboard as Friesen gets out with Acton and DeFazio. That's where he has wound up on this shift of lines. We'll most likely be seeing Cal O'Reilly double shifted here as Manchester guilty of another icing with 14:41 to go. One of the strengths of the Comets is their depth. One of the advantages that Travis Green has had in almost every playoff series is that he does not have to tire out his top guns because he can roll four lines consistently. But there are certain times that call for drastic measures, and we are approaching that territory, and we are seeing Travis Green shuffle lines earlier than we normally would. Will Acton ties up but can't get the puck free. Again, this line now has two centers on it in Acton and Friesen. Acton better on the draws, but he can't win that one. And Manchester is able to get it in deep. Spun around the boards. Miller a quick wrist shot. Tim Markstrom the save with traffic in front. He does not allow that puck to drop to the ice. Big time save there on a redirection in close by the Manchester Monarchs. Still a 2-0 Monarch lead with 14:27 to go in the second period. The IBEW Local 43 and Utica Contractors are proud supporters of the Utica Comets on their quest for the Calder Cup. IBEW and Utica Contractors, we're on the job for you. Comets trying to make sure this series shifts back to Manchester for Game 6 on Tuesday. They need a win here to do it. They need to come back from down 2 goals in order to tie it. The draw will be taken by O'Reilly. It is pushed forward. O'Reilly back with his normal wingers in Jensen and Grenier here. As O'Reilly leads it ahead, he's got Grenier to his right. He'll send Grenier after this dump in. Grenier takes a hit, but still able to work it free. Grenier to the front for Jensen, swatted away by Bartasek. Corrado's drive is blocked by Auger and sprays all the way back into the Comets' end. 2 great chances as the Comets' Biega can't clear the puck out. Michael Mersch walking in. His shot blocked by Biega. As those two battle again, they had some good battles last night. Mersch got a stick up high in Biega's face. That drew his ire. And a penalty as well that followed. Here is Grenier. Up across the line for Utica. Wrist shot sailed high. For as many nice saves as Bartasek has made, he has looked like he has flailed a few times. As the shot comes in, he leaves another rebound on a blocker stop. That came from the point and Anderson. Jensen back behind. Tucks it in front. Rolls to Sanguinetti. Moves to the circle. Shoots one back through traffic. Never made it on goal. Given back to Sanguinetti. Drags, stumbles, plays it now down to the circle for Quincy Hamilton, and it's pushed out of the zone on a long reach from Andrew Crescenzi. Zaleski with speed, cuts back across the red line, now into enemy territory, cutting back at the slot. Zaleski looking for space, comes near the line, dishes to Anderson. Anderson wristing one, blocked down by a knee of Dowd. Tucked in front again, Anderson's backhand, and this one cleared away from the net. Down the ice, it'll be icing called against Manchester as the Comets have turned the heat up against the Monarchs, but so far have been unable to crack Patrick Bartasek. The jawing continues here between Forbort and Zaleski. Comets will make a line change here after the icing. The Monarchs will not be allowed to. Berchi, Friesen, and Conacher put back together here. 12 minutes and 55 seconds to go. Second period, Monarchs up 2-0. Comets facing elimination for the 3rd time this playoffs. They are obviously 2-0. in the first 2 such instances. Game 5 against the Chicago Wolves in round 1. And Game 7 against the Oklahoma City Barons in the Western Conference semifinals. Here's Backman with a shot that skipped to the front. Conacher able to play it away to the boards for Clendening. Led on now for Berchi. Left wing Berchi cuts and drags. His shot is blocked. And then Berchi will grab it again. Fed it to Clendening, closing in, wristing a shot that's blocked again by Dowd and sprayed off the glass on his clearing attempt. Laverty gets tied up behind the goal, but it is Bodnerchuk able to spin off a hit from Berchi. Feed up to Bissonette, who works it out to center. Huskins back in, dumping it off the glass. And this one grabbed by Laverty. Bodnerchuk run into, and the Comets keep it alive at the offensive end. But only for a moment, and then rolled out by Dowd. Backman in pursuit. Corrado has to back off. Backman shot blocked by Corrado. DeFazio will pick it up. 3-on-2 if they can hurry now. Crescenzi will join the play and even up the numbers. 4-on-3. It's DeFazio down the lane, and he put it to the goal. And a blocker saved by Bartasek. Everybody parted ways, and all of a sudden DeFazio got a clean look, but so did Bartasek at that shot that came from the top of the circles. 11:40 remaining now in the second. Monarchs work it back down low in the Comets' end. Auger twisting away from Anderson. Now back into him, but fed the puck on for Josh Gratton. Gratton to the right point to Miller. Miller's shot blocked by Shinkarik, but came right back to Miller. Miller closing in, rips a shot. That one knocked down in front. And Miller played behind for Crescenzi. Crescenzi cycling here. Turns and threw it off the skates of Auger. It bounced back behind. Biega hurries it on for Shinkarik. Shinkarik will get it deep. A tip, so no icing. O'Reilly pursues. Conacher and Jensen join him here as O'Reilly steals the puck to Jensen, left circle, resting one high and wide. Kicked off the glass, and Shore will bring it to center ice. Huskins, though, takes it away, played on for Conacher. Conacher to Sanguinetti joining. Turning to the front, it's blocked away. Here's a break the other way. O'Brien up ice, he's got Shore ahead. O'Brien curls, the trailer was there in Kempe, but O'Brien fanned on the pass. Sanguinetti got back to take it away. He fed one to Jensen. That was too hot to handle and bound back inside the Utica end. Sanguinetti To center ice for Conacher, stapled to the glass, puck picked up by Jordan Wheel, but thrust ahead, only to find Ken Huskins. Now Jensen carries in for Utica, wristing a shot that's easily gloved down by Bartosak, the goaltender. Pushing and shoving after the whistle. We've become accustomed to that. There will be no penalties. 10:25 to go in the second. Manchester up 2-0. This is Game 5 of the Calder Cup Finals on TSN 1040 and 94.9 K-Rock.
I finally found the perfect match.
Remember, a dating card photo may not be entirely indicative.
No, I mean 2 solid sausage McMuffin with egg sandwiches are now just $3.33. What could be a better match?
Well, you could match 1 sausage McMuffin with egg sandwich with any size McCafe coffee or soft drink for $3.33.
Oh, that's quite appealing as well.
So you'll be keeping your options open.
I say to each her own.
Price of participation may vary. Limited time only. Price of individual item posted on menu board.
Humans, gather round. Today is a new day with kids to inspire, rules to bend, jokes to tell, smiles to crack, songs to sing, and before all of that, rich, smooth McCafe coffee to love. Because starting the day with a little lovin' is always the right choice.
The best things begin with the little things. Love every day to the fullest with the smooth, rich, freshly brewed taste of McCafe coffee for just $1 in any size. Only at McDonald's. A la carte only. Prices and participation may vary. Limited time only.
Looks all the way over. Walk, Connors, hammers one home.
This is the Utica Comets 2015 Calder Cup playoffs on 94.9 K-Rock.
A lot of pressure for Utica. A lot of shots as well. Comets out shooting Manchester 7-3 here in the second period, but it is still a 2-0 Monarch lead. They scored 2 goals, 3:07 apart after a turnover and a penalty. That gave them the 2-0 lead they are currently enjoying as Zaleski can't get it towards the goal, and now it's racing away with it is Brian O'Neill, the league's MVP, wristing one on goal, and Markstrom shouldered it away. Diego with a hit on Loverty. Puck loose behind the net. And given off now for Mersch. Run into by Biega. Mersch stepped off the boards. In front for Wheel. Wheel floated out. Laverty closing in. He tried to hold up on a shot, but it escaped him. And then Mersch tried to tuck it from a sharp angle and glanced off Biega and went wide. Corrado will pick up the puck. He'll fly it out to center ice. It'll land just wide of the circle. O'Neill on his glove was able to knock it down, but then he gets upended by Gaunce on the forecheck as he fumbled with the puck. Gaunce in front. DeFazio shot wide. What a play by Gaunce as he was falling to the ice, and he got it right onto the tape of DeFazio. Comets have had 16 shots on goal and many more that have sailed wide or high or just missed the net for one other reason. Here's Bissonnette closing in on Huskins one-on-one, and Huskins just poke checks it away. Near side, Backman looking for some space. He'll pitchfork one behind the net, and now Paul Bissonnette after it there with Huskins. Left the puck along the boards, then Will Acton dealing with it there. Acton getting into it with Down. Comets free the puck. Shinkarik can't find a way to get around Colin Miller. An AHL All-Star, Colin Miller, one of the many the Monarchs had. That include Miller, Wheel, O'Neill, the goaltender Berube, and Shore, who didn't play in the game because he was in the NHL with the LA Kings. Of course, the AHL All-Star Classic was played here in Utica, New York back on January 25th and 26th. 8.5 minutes to go in our second period. Utica down 2-0 to Manchester. Down 3-1 in the Calder Cup Finals. Sanguinetti, his pass is deflected in. There was a scrum in front of the benches that Conacher lost his helmet because of. Auger somehow wound up in the Comets bench. He doesn't have a helmet on either. And finally, everybody gets back to where they're supposed to be, and there was no whistle, and there will be no penalties. There has not been a penalty called against Manchester at all tonight. Wraparound attempt from Grenier, and Bartosak just got back to the post to make the stop. Biega steps in down the wall, ties up with Grattan, floated to the goal, gloved and held by Bartosak. Down to 7:51 to go in the second. Manchester, their lead, 2-0. You're listening to the Calder Cup Finals. Game 5 is on TSN 1040 and 94.9 K-Rock.
The Celtic Harp on Barrett Street in Utica.
This is the Utica Comets 2015 Calder Cup playoffs on 94.9 K-Rock.
Comets out shooting Manchester 18-11. That's of little consolation to the team that is facing elimination and trailing in the hockey game 2-0. Offensive zone draw, though, goes the way of the Monarchs, but it's pushed back and held in at the point by Viega. Down the wall for O'Reilly to Grenier, turning a one-timer. The stick failed him. Corrado shot. A toe save from Bartosak. Grenier has gotten a new stick, but the puck coming back towards the Comets' end. Forced in by Brian O'Neill. Viega hit off the boards. One hands on to O'Reilly. The patient Comets captain floated one in the direction of Grenier. Grenier with a heavy hit, knocking down Kevin Gravel, but the puck was already thrown in, but in an offside situation. And the faceoff will come back out to neutral ice. Again, penalties were such a big story in last night's game because the Comets were undisciplined. They took some bad penalties at the end, including 2 10-minute misconducts to both Corrado and Glendening, who were playing together. And both got the misconducts at the same time. And the Comets wound up surrendering 2 power play goals on 6 Monarchs power plays. Tonight, the Comets have been called for 4 minutes in penalties. One of those has resulted in a power play goal for Manchester. Utica has not had the benefit of a power play at all. Lacey Hamilton will handle the draw opposite Nick Shore. Shore pushed it back to Forbort, and now on to O'Brien. O'Brien working on Anderson. Gauntz got him from behind and knocked the puck off his stick. Gauntz getting into it with Ebert behind the play as well, as this puck lifted off the glass and out of the zone. 7 minutes remaining here in period number 2. Taken by Shore. Hamilton knocked him off the puck. He came right back to Forbort, though. Pushed up ice. Kempy stolen away by Zaleski. And Zaleski, a local product, flies it in. Behind the net, Gauntz coming after it, but it's worked by him. And now a short pass on. Puts it on the stick of Adrian Kempy. He got shadowed to the boards and rubbed off along there by his countryman Peter Anderson. And now it is Zaleski flying through the neutral zone. Lost the handle. Got it on for Shinkarik. Shinkarik trying to muscle his way in, but it comes to Paul Bissonnette for Manchester. Bissonnette from center ice will rim it around the boards. Off the glass, it kicks now for Beckman. And now Huskins trying to one-hand it away. Still it's controlled by Manchester. Beckman cycles for Bissonnette. And then Bissonnette puts it into the corner again for Down. Down ties up with Sanguinetti. And along the boards, Brandon DeFazio can't get it around Bodnerchuk, who is pinched in. And Sanguinetti goes to work on Nick Dowd. Scored the overtime game winner in game 2, as both of the first 2 wins in the first 2 games of this series in Manchester were decided in overtime. 3-2 in game 1, 2-1 in game 2. Comets never trailed, or should be never led in either of those games, as Utica going to be guilty of icing here with 5 minutes and 42 seconds remaining in the second period. J.K. Lumber, your home improvement experts, know the Comets are built for success and are proud to support the Comets and all things local. Visit them today at j-k.com. Reminder as well, the Utica Comets Calder Cup broadcast is brought to you in part by Tom Cavallo's Restaurant, Dan Meehan State Farm Insurance, Avalon Document Services, Mohawk Valley Federal Credit Union, and Medical Laser Therapeutics. As they try and get Brandon DeFazio lined up outside the circle. As they finally do, the puck is dropped. Alex Friesen working away from Wheel with it, and DeFazio off the glass and out of the zone. Sending Shinkarik in pursuit, but O'Neill is there to play it to Miller. And now it's Gravel up the wing for Mersch. Mersch turned it over at center ice, but a sloppy backhand pass between Friesen, maybe intended for Berchi. It's gathered up by Viega and then given up at center ice. Dumped back in off the glass by Kevin Gravel. Spun around by Ken Huskins. Didn't get a lot on that clearing attempt, so Wheel puts it behind the net for O'Neill, who's alone back there. Now O'Neill to the blue line. And a shot by Forbort, knocked down in front. Scramble for it there. Grabbed by Mersch. Couldn't get it to the goal. And now O'Neill is there to pick it up. O'Neill taken away by Viega. And Viega telegraphed the pass, stolen away by O'Neill, stepping in, dragging, delaying, pushing Markstrom, a diving save! He got beat, but he got back to make the stop and keep it a 2-goal lead for Manchester. Another highlight reel save for Jacob Markstrom that may keep the Comets' hopes alive. 4:48 to go in the second. Still Manchester by 2. This is Comets Hockey, Game 5 of the Calder Cup Finals on TSN 1040 and 94.9 K-Rock.
You'll find sizzling hot savings during the sizzling...
Just $8.99, or a 90-inch Ashley Durapallet sofa in 6 colors for just $3.49, or Ashley 5-piece dining sets, hub or regular height, only $3.99.
Plus, there's no money down and no interest up to 4 full years. Hi, this is Al. When you're hot, and our summer sale is sizzling hot with savings throughout the store. And remember, like my dad always said, Joe Hands guarantees your satisfaction or your money back. So come on down to Joe. We'll be looking for you.
You'll find sizzling hot savings during the sizzling hot summer sale at Joe Hands Furniture, Henry Street, Rome, Campion Road, New Hartford, and Commercial Drive, Yorkville.
Looks all the way over.
This is the Utica Comets 2015 Calder Cup playoffs on 94.9 K-Rock.
Monarchs still with a 2-0 lead here in Game 5 of the Calder Cup Finals. It could be worse. The Comets have gotten some spectacular saves from Jacob Markstrom and even a goal disallowed back in the first period. Laverty's shot is blocked and the Comets carry ahead, but Utica, as Hunter Shinkarik gets belted on his way back to the puck. A penalty coming here as the Comets work it on goal and a save made by Bartasek, and the puck is touched before Markstrom can get to the bench. It'll be the first power play of the game for the Comets, drawn by the speed of Hunter Shinkarik. This Comets Power Play is brought to you by Bowen's Power Sports. Visit Bowen's in Ilion for all your recreational vehicle sales, service, and accessory needs. Maybe just what the Comets need. Vincent Laverty, the captain, to the box for interference after throwing a hip check on Hunter Shinkarik well after he had gotten rid of the puck. The Comets Power Play last night was 1-4-6. So far in the Calder Cup Finals, they are just 2 for 14, split evenly, 1-4-7 on the road in games 1 and 2, 1-4-7 in games 3 and 4. Here is O'Reilly with a shot, save made, rebound chopped across the net by Grenier, but Berchi couldn't get there. Sanguinetti holds it in for Berchi on the wall. Berchi to Sanguinetti in his skates and across for Cal O'Reilly. O'Reilly drops it. Grenier in front of the net. Sanguinetti moves it over for Berchi and then Sanguinetti again. Left circle O'Reilly. Has Grenier down on the goal line. Got it to him. Fumbles with it. Gives it back to O'Reilly. Getting the puck to move. Sanguinetti wristing one into traffic. It's blocked away. Grenier will gather it there. Sanguinetti again. 35 seconds into the power play. O'Reilly slides. Sanguinetti shoots. Blocked in front by Forbort. Picked up by Berchi. Berchi on the far wing. Looking to the line. Tried to cut back. Lost an edge and went down. This one kept in down low, though, by Berchi. Spun around the boards by Grenier to O'Reilly. With pressure coming, he floats it over. Sanguinetti back to O'Reilly. Picked up off the boards. Down to the half wall. Conacher. Sanguinetti. Back to Conacher. Back to Sanguinetti. Right circle to Berchi. Sanguinetti pumps. Shot is blocked, and it comes again to Conacher. Feathered to the top for Sanguinetti. 52 on the power play. Conacher in his skates. Lifted a bouncer out to the line. Sanguinetti, great hold. Down for O'Reilly. Skip to the front. Sanguinetti gloves and keeps it in again. But they call it offsides. John Grant was right there. But that looked like it was on the blue line. Everybody wearing white. Not only the players on the ice and on the bench, but of course the white out here. 38-35 deep. All not happy with John Grant's decision that puck had crossed the line. It takes the heat off the Monarchs for the moment, allows them to make a change with 43 seconds left on the Comets power play. 3:11 to go in the second period. It is a 2-0 Manchester Monarchs lead. Face-off won by Manchester Shore. Back to Gravel, but he couldn't clear it. Colin Miller can, and it'll skip down the ice. Markstrom will come out to play it. Near side boards, and Berchi stops it here. Berchi to the left side for O'Reilly. all the way over. Gaunce has it now. Taken rim by Gravel, but O'Reilly gets in to try and dig it out of the pile after Gaunce got it tied up along the boards. 15 seconds left on the power play. Play to the line. Glendening a shot tipped in front, and it went well wide. Berchi will race there. Stops and cuts back. Berchi moving in. Slips it over for O'Reilly. Glendening one-timer blocked by Mersch with his back as he went tumbling down to the ice. Great job by Glendening. Penalty coming here against Manchester. O'Reilly over, and a shot sailed high from Gaunce. To the bench goes Markstrom. Shot comes in on net. Puck is touched by Miller, and the Comets going back to the power play after a slashing goal against Mersch. They fail on one and are given another. Michael Mersch is shaken up on the play as well as he's limping his way to the penalty box. And with 2 minutes and 22 seconds to go, the Comets right back on the advantage. They look good on that power play, and they had some opportunities, but no finish. That has been the story all night long. They're out shooting Manchester 21-11. But it is still a 2-0 Monarchs lead, and they start this penalty kill with a face-off win and a clear on net. Markstrom has to stop it and give off to Bobby Sanguinetti. Comets roll with 4 forwards here. Berchi, O'Reilly, Conacher, Grenier. Sanguinetti, the offensively minded defenseman, the only blue liner on the ice, as O'Reilly starts to cut in towards the goal, then backs off. Backhands it to Sanguinetti. To the circle, Berchi, one-timer sailed wide. Another missed shot by the Comets. Here's Sanguinetti, over for Berchi. Pumps, can't shoot, still delays. Slides it to Conacher. Conacher feeds it out to Sanguinetti. Left side, O'Reilly. He'll close in. O'Reilly to the goal line. Grenier fumbles it behind the net. Picks it up and feeds it to Berchi. Conacher's parked in front. They got it there, but it's poked away by Backman. O'Reilly right in front. Conacher across. It never got through to Berchi, who was open on the back door as O'Brien cleared it down the ice. Halfway through this Comets power play, 1:20 to go here in the period. 2-0 Manchester. Game 5 of the Calder Cup Finals. Comets facing elimination here on home ice. Conacher slipped down the wing. Grenier hard around the boards. O'Reilly will let it roll to Alex Friesen. Friesen to O'Reilly in the corner with 2 players on him. To the top for Glendening. To Conacher, one-timer is blocked by Bodnerchuk. Conacher poked it down the wing. Friesen, then Grenier still behind the net. Last minute of play in the period. Last 35 seconds of the power play. O'Reilly had it knocked up in the air. It is found and cleared by Manchester. Markstrom waits for it behind the net. Ryan O'Neill is pursuing. 46 seconds to go in the period. 23 of that power play time. Alex Friesen will lead it ahead for Utica. To the right wing for Glendening. Glendening rims it around the boards. 35 seconds in the period. 13 on the power play. Another clear here for Manchester. Comets had a power play all day. They get 2 back-to-back here at the tail end of the second period, and they come up empty on both. It is Friesen to Shinkarik as we return to 5-on-5. Shinkarik pushed behind the goal for Gaunce, who attempted to center. There was no one home even if it got there. And the Monarchs clearing attempt shut down by Glendening with 10 seconds on the period. Behind the net, Miller is hit by 2 players, but the puck thrown out of play. They say it hit the glass, and so there is no penalty. But a face-off will follow inside the Monarch zone with only 5.6 seconds remaining in period number 2. The Comets have given them the effort, but it has been a sloppy effort. And 2 problems turn into 2 goals for Manchester in the first period. And the Comets have racked up an impressive 13 shots on goal here in the second, but Patrick Bartosak has stopped them all. 22 saves in total. Comets send Wasey Hamilton out for the draw. Jensen as the trigger man. If the Comets can win the face-off, they've got 5.6 to work with. Hamilton against Shore, their top face-off man. Hamilton wins it. Jensen can't shoot it. It winds up off to the corner. Conacher racing with Laverty, gets tangled up there, and the period comes to a close with a couple of glove punches, and then Hamilton and Shore getting together, and now other players starting to join the party as the frustration no doubt has mounted with the Comets and the Monarchs. But Manchester will take a 2-0 lead with them into the dressing room. They are 1 period away from winning the 2015 Calder Cup. The score is 2-0. Manchester is on top. The Comets are fighting for their lives, and they've only got 20 minutes left to save them. Comets shooting a lot tonight. They have found the net 22 times, but Patrick Bartasek has made 22 saves. We've got plenty more to talk about when we come back to the broadcast. In between periods 2 and 3, Manchester with a 2-0 lead. You're listening to the Calder Cup Finals, Game 5 on TSN 1040 and 94.9 K-Rock.
The Indian Corporation was founded over 80 years ago in a garage in Utica, New York. Since then, our materials have helped enable breakthroughs in communications, computing, and aerospace electronics. Along the way, we became Central New York's first nanotechnology manufacturer. Today, we employ nearly 800 people, 400 right here in the Mohawk Valley. While we operate 13 facilities worldwide, we still call Utica home. Indian Corporation, Utica's technology company.
Shop the Herb Phillipson Super Dad's Day and Summertime Sale going on now. Save on men's Wrangler 5-pocket or cargo shorts, now 20% off. Men's Adirondack tees, a low $7.97. And take 10% off our entire stock of tents, gazebos, and canopies. Plus great savings on camping, fishing, and hunting gear.
For the best selection of name brands at low price fighter prices, shop Herb Phillipson, your outfitters for the great outdoors.
For Father's Day and summer fun, we have it all. Herb Phillipson's, your outfitters for the great outdoors. With locations in Rome, Oneida, Herkimer, and the New Hartford Shopping Center. Stop in today.
Herb Phillipson's for the great outdoors. Get out. Get out and live it.
The key to protecting assets is planning ahead. So complete your estate and asset protection planning now and get time on your side. For help. For trusted experience in asset and nursing home protection, as well as all levels of estate planning, call Hilton Estate and Elder Law LLC, 624-9600. 624-9600. Baby boomers may be facing estate, income, or capital gains tax. To learn how to reduce or even eliminate those taxes, call local attorney Robert Hilton at Hilton Estate and Elder Law LLC today. 624-9600. 624-9600. Remember, it's never too late to plan ahead.
Looks all the way over. One-timers score! Alex Grenier hammers one home.
This is the Utica Comets 2015 Calder Cup playoffs on 94.9 K-Rock.
Well, the Utica Comets have 20 minutes left to figure this out. Otherwise, the season, not only for the Comets, not only for the Monarchs, but the entire American Hockey League comes to a close here tonight at the Utica Memorial Auditorium. A comeback win for the Comets? Well, that would force a Game 6 in Manchester on Tuesday evening at Verizon Wireless Arena. It would be a 7 o'clock start. But the Comets have to find a way to get a puck past Patrick Bartasek. Not only one, but two, in order to keep their hopes of a Calder Cup championship alive. This is the 14th and final season for the Manchester Monarchs in the American Hockey League. If you were joined to our broadcast during the first intermission, you heard the president of the American Hockey League, Mr. David Andrews, talk to us about the seismic shift that is taking place across the American Hockey League heading into next year's 80th anniversary season. That includes 5 teams moving from their current location out to California. Manchester is one of those teams. And while the Manchester Monarchs will still exist next season, they will be playing at the AA or ECHL level and will still be affiliated with the LA Kings, who have essentially flip-flopped their ECHL and AHL programs. The Ontario Reign, located in Southern California, will become the AHL franchise of the Kings, while the Monarchs will be the ECHL team. So the Manchester Monarchs are trying to go out on the highest of notes This franchise will leave the American Hockey League, and they're trying to take the Calder Cup along with them. The Comets are in just their second season. They have had a miraculous run. They have started their franchise with 10 straight losses last year. That was the low. This is the high, no matter how this game ends, no matter how this season ends. It has been a terrific and incredible run for the Comets. 20 minutes to go, and we'll need to play as if there is no tomorrow, because there is in fact no tomorrow for the Utica Comets if they cannot score at least 2 goals during this third period. Utica Comets hockey is brought to you by Charles D. Stahl Sales and Service. For all your lawn, garden, and forest equipment sales and service needs, visit Charles D. Stahl at one of their 2 locations in Little Falls or Marcy. Utica Comets hockey is also brought to you by Engelbert Jewelers. One family, one commitment, over 100 years in business. Show them how much you care by making your next jewelry purchase from the professionals at Engelbert Jewelers in Rome or New Hartford. Our out-of-town scoreboard. It is brief, but it is sponsored by Accelerate Sports. Accelerate Sports is proud to announce the opening of their new fully equipped fitness center, performance food center, and smoothie bar. Check out the area's largest indoor sports and fitness facility at the Accelerate Sports Complex in Whitesboro. At the NHL level, the Stanley Cup final is underway in Tampa Bay. Game 5 between the Chicago Blackhawks and the Tampa Bay Lightning. Series tied at 2 games apiece. And Ben Bishop easy in net for the Tampa Bay Lightning, or at least he was until he came out, collided with his own D-man, and left a wide open goal for Patrick Sharp to place his 5th of the playoffs into. And so the Chicago Blackhawks have a 1-0 lead early stages of the first period in Game 5 of our Stanley Cup final. The ECHL Game 7 of the Kelly Cup finals will be on Sunday. Tomorrow. That game will be played in Allen, Texas at 4:05 Central Time. The Allen Americans hosting the South Carolina Stingrays in the winner-take-all at the ECHL level, the Kelly Cup Championship, named after former Clinton Comet Pat Kelly, who has his number and picture hanging here just to my right in the building. His number 5 proudly displayed here as part of the rich history of professional hockey and amateur hockey all around the Mohawk Valley, from Clinton to Utica. It has certainly dug its roots deep into the community here in the Mohawk Valley. Comets trail the Manchester Monarchs 2-0 after 2 periods of play. The shots on goal 20-12. We'll look a little bit more deeper into the numbers when we come back here to the Utica Memorial Auditorium. You're listening to Game 5 of the Calder Cup Finals on TSN 1040 and 94.9 K-Rock.
The IBEW Local 43 and the National Electrical Contractors Association have been a part of Central New York for over 100 years. The IBEW's state-of-the-art training facility offers classroom instruction as well as everyday on-the-job construction training. From the Carrier Dome to our local hospitals, malls, schools, and city buildings, Central New York's future is bright, and the IBEW Local 43 will continue to help light, power, and grow our community.
It's time for home improvements, so check out the new JK Lumber Sales Flyer, featuring some great deals recommended by our experts.
Ready to build your party deck? It can get pretty involved, so ask our pros for help. Get all of your hardware, building tips, and the right decking for your needs. Like this month's special, Trex Decking. Work less and relax more with this durable composite. It never needs paint, stain, or sealant. It doesn't rot, and it even increases the value of your home. It's like super decking. Don't forget, we are your home improvement experts. We know decking.
Find all our specials, like Trex Decking in this month's flyer. You'll find railings, lights, and much more on sale. When you stop in, pick up a solar post cap light for just $5.99. We carry the good stuff, and all at great prices. Get your flyer online at jay-k.com or at JK in New Hartford. JK Lumber, your home improvement experts.
Recycling pays at Sims Metal Management. At Sims Metal Management, they're paying top dollar for all scrap. Sims Metal Management will buy all grades of scrap metal, including light iron, steel, aluminum, copper, brass. And they even pay cash for cars. Sims Metal Management is conveniently located at 167 West River Road in Frankfort. Sims Metal Management is a top world recycler with the highest level of local service and accountability. At Sims Metal Management, they also have container services available. Computerized scales with quick and easy drop-offs. Sims Metal Management is your scrap headquarters. Call Sims Metal Management today and turn your scrap metal into cash. Call Sims Metal Management at 735-4451. 735-4451 for the best prices in the world and in town. Recycling pays at Sims Metal Management. Sims Metal Management, 167 West River Road, Frankfort.
Looks all the way over. One-timer score! One home.
This is the Utica Comets 2015 Calder Cup playoffs on 94.9 K-Rock.
The score is 2-0 Manchester. The stakes are as high as they could be. Game 5 of the Calder Cup Finals. The Comets trail in the series 3-1 after Manchester took games 1 and 2 in their building, both in overtime. 3-2 in Game 1. 2-1 in Game 2. When the series shifted back here to the Utica Memorial Auditorium, it was a Comets 3-2 win. They're only in the series to this point. That was Game 3 on Wednesday. Game 4 was just last night, and the Utica Comets came out flat. They fell behind 2-0. They tied it at 2 and then came out flat again in the second period. Manchester opened up a 6-2 lead. The final score was 6-3. Now here tonight, the story has been different. The result has been the same. The Comets came out with not a bad jump and controlled good portions of the first period and large portions of the second period. They outshot Manchester 9-7 in the first and 13-5 in the second. But the difference being, the Comets turned the puck over in their own zone again, and the Monarchs made them pay. That was at 10:02 of the first period. Adrian Kempe, the beneficiary, gets his 8th of the playoffs, his 4th in the 3 games played here in Utica. Assist to Nick Shore and Zach O'Brien. That goal was at 10:02. Less than 2 minutes later, a penalty was called. Less than 3 minutes later, a penalty was called against Will Acton at 12:51. And at 3:07 after the first goal for Manchester, they got another one. Vincent Laverty, his second from Nick Dowd and Andrew Bodnarchuk at 13:09, and the Comets were down 2-0. Markstrom has made some dazzling saves to keep the Comets in the hockey game, but he has only been tested a total of 12 times, which means he has only made 10 saves. This, of course, coming off last night's performance when the Comets superstar gave up 6 goals on 33 shots and was shown the door at 46:20 of play. That's 6:20 into the third period. After allowing those 6 goals, his playoff goals against average jumped to 2.11. His save percentage dropped to 926. Still magnificent numbers, but you think about what they were 1.91 and 934 before yesterday's game. 30 career playoff games for Jacob Markstrom. He has won 2 more than he has lost. If the Comets don't change the score here tonight, he will be 16-15 in his playoff career at the American Hockey League. Right now he has a 2.32 goals against average and a 920 save percentage. This year he still has allowed 2 goals or fewer in 16 of 22 playoff starts, this being his 23rd, and he still has a chance to make sure that number increases by 1. It would be 17. He stopped 103 of the first 110 shots he faced in games 1 and 2 for allowing the 6 goals on 33 shots last night. So his goals against average, which was sub-2 in each of the 3 rounds prior to this one individually, 1.97 against Chicago, 1.76 against Oklahoma City, 1.91 against Grand Rapids. Markstrom's goals against average sitting right now at 3.3, despite some impressive play in the first 3 games and even in stages last night. He was the reason the Comets weren't down 5-0 after 10 minutes. Manchester came out with that type of intensity to start yesterday's game. The Comets haven't brought that type of intensity nor anywhere near the level of execution the Monarchs have come with. As Manchester, they've gotten opportunities, they bury them. The Comets have gotten some glorious chances and have missed the net on a lot of shots. They've had a lot of shots blocked. And Patrick Bartosak, while he's been shaky in some of the ways he has made saves, he's made them all. and the defense surrounding him has been able to bail him out. They know what is at stake, so do the Comets. In case you forgot, it is the Calder Cup that is here in the building, and the Comets are hoping to keep it in the case. The next 20 minutes will determine whether they do bring it out and present it here at the Odd, or this series will shift back to Manchester, New Hampshire for Game 6 coming on Tuesday night. What do the Comets have left in the tank? It is time to find out. It is time to empty that tank. AHL fans want to be part of the Calder Cup Finals. Join the conversation by using hashtag Calder Cup on Twitter. Tweet your photos to us at AHL. The AHL is their Twitter handle for a chance to win an official Calder Cup t-shirt. It is time for the third period when we come back to the Odd. Manchester up 2-0 in Game 5 of the Calder Cup Finals. This is Utica Comets Hockey on TSN 1040 and 94.9 K-Rock.
2 decades, one show. K-Rockathon 20, Saturday, July 25th. Chevy Court at the New York State Fairgrounds. Shinedown. Breaking Benjamin. In this moment, Adelito's Way, Trapped, We Are Harlot, Nothing More, Fit for Rivals, Sons of Texas, Revolve, Shaman's Harvest, K-Rockathon. Tickets on sale today at Napa Auto Parts. Save on convenience stores, Timeless Tattoo, Comics Zone, Spotify, Big Apple Music, and KRockathon.com. K-Rockathon 20, presented by Mess's Fireworks, KG Grow and Brew, and Fazio's Auto Sales. Saturday, July 25th. Details and tickets at krockathon.com.
The Celtic Harp on Barrett Street in Utica is your Comets pre- and post-game party headquarters. Enjoy Harpy Hour Tuesday through Friday from 5:05 p.m. to 8:05 p.m. with $5 appetizers, 2-for-1 well mixers, 2 for $5 domestic bottles and shot specials. The Celtic Harp, open Tuesday through Sunday 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. for lunch, dinner, and late night acts. Club hours 11 a.m. to 2 a.m. Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday noon till 2 a.m. The Celtic Harp, Central New York's pre- and post-game Comets party headquarters, 805 Barrett Street, Utica.
Have you been to the new beer store in New Hartford? What's it called? Beer Here on Seneca Turnpike in New Hartford.
Did you try a beer at a bar but you can't seem to find it anywhere? Or just looking for something new? Take a look at Beer Here across from Pizza Hut in the Crossroads Plaza next to Plato's Closet. Over 5,500 square feet of craft beers from New York and beyond. Imports, domestics, growlers, and kegs. Beer Here, Seneca Turnpike, New Hartford, next to Plato's Closet. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter for upcoming tastings and events.
Murphy Excavating, serving the Mohawk Valley since 1952, is a proud supporter of the Utica Comets. They offer complete commercial and residential services. Whether it's a drainage issue, lawn and driveway repairs, or site development, Murphy Excavating will get the job done. As a bonded and fully insured full-service local contractor, Murphy Excavating safely and effectively delivers the services needed to get every aspect of the job done right. On time, good contractor. We're on call 24 hours too. Murphy Excavating, 3 generations of Comet.
This is the Utica Comets 2015 Calder Cup playoffs on 94.9 K-Rock.
Well, the challenge for the Utica Comets is to play their best period of hockey of the season, or the season comes to an end. They trail 2-0 to the Manchester Monarchs at the start of the third, and the Monarchs lead the series 3-1. The Calder Cup is in the building. The Comets would like it to leave in a case and not carried out by the guys currently wearing black sweaters. The Comets force the puck up ice. Hunter Shinkarik will dump it in here at the start of the third period. Brendan Burke from the Utica Memorial Auditorium. As Wasey Hamilton delivers the body check, Mike Zaleski tries to work it deep. As he's held on to, the puck squirts free and tipped out to center by Adrian Kempe. Collected by Corrado. Off the wall, it is Hunter Shinkarik. He tries to bang it in, got it deep. Laverty is back to get it. Near side, Alex Grenier. In his skates, he'll work it free. Shinkarik's backhand wraparound stuffed and denied by Bartasak. Loose puck rolled into Cal O'Reilly. Laverty trying to grab a stick from a position player as his stick was blocked or broken. And the Comets try to play it. We've got a penalty call here against Laverty. Laverty's going to the box for throwing the stick. What he did is he broke his stick, got one from a fellow player of his, and then when he tried to give it back to him, he just slid it across the ice. You can't do that. And so the captain, Laverty, will get his second minor penalty of the hockey game, and it gives the Comets a power play chance here. Just a minute and 2 seconds into the third period. Apparently the captain of the Monarchs unaware of the rule. And Alex Grenier will take the face-off, and the Comets have a glorious chance here. Sprung to the boards off the draw. Berchi battles it free. Conacher hands it back to Sanguinetti. Left side, O'Reilly. Sanguinetti at the top. Drags and plays. Berchi opens. Tried to slide it in front. Miller got a skate on it. O'Reilly has to back this one out to center ice, and the Comets will come back in. Berchi to O'Reilly. Lifting it over for Conacher. Conacher shimmies down the wall. Steps away from foreboard. Spun all the way around. Berchi at the line. Quick turn. Gave a head fake to get Mersch off of his tail. And now Sanguinetti plays it across for O'Reilly. O'Reilly to Conacher. Tried a quick one-timer. Swatted down in front and hit the body of Grenier, but was going hard towards the net. Sanguinetti again to the left side for O'Reilly. O'Reilly winds, doesn't shoot. Brings it to the goal line. Try to drop it off. Broken up but not cleared. Fanned on. Grenier pries it free. Conacher back to Sanguinetti. Sanguinetti to O'Reilly on the boards. To the goal line, Grenier dropped it between his legs. Conacher leaves it. Sanguinetti hammers it. Bartasek the save, and he'll cover. He was fed back the puck by Colin Miller and able to get his glove on it. Some good puck movement there, ultimately winding up with a heavy shot on goal. And a nice save from Patrick Bartasek. He has made 24 stops here tonight without allowing a goal. Clock now reads 17:59 remaining in the third period. 1:01 of that is power play time for Utica with Vincent Laverty in the box. The Monarchs captain has a goal. Back in the first period, one of the two the Monarchs have scored. It was the second of the two. Kempe at 10:02, Laverty on the power play at 13:09. They will have to reset the penalty clock 1 second after a false draw. And as they reset it to 1:01, Cal O'Reilly will stand in. O'Reilly and Berchi, the only two of the 5 players that will stay on the ice from the first power play unit. They're joined by Clendenning, Friesen, and Gaunt. Friesen helps the puck to the line. Berchi closing in. Drops it for O'Reilly. Works it to the top, Clendenning. Pumps, plays back to O'Reilly. He'll wind and shoot. It's blocked. It muffled down in front. Played away from the top of the crease by Kevin Gravel. O'Reilly again. Finds Berchi. Stepping, shooting. He pulled it wide. Around the boards, Clendenning races to it. Picks it up. Berchi not ready for that pass to be where it was, and the Monarchs clear it down. Markstrom forced it to the boards for Clendenning, who will leave it for Friesen to skate into. Friesen up ice, his pass blocked away. Gaunt couldn't reach it. Monarchs clear it down again. 25 seconds left on the Comets power play. Clendenning comes out from behind the Utica goal. Comets skating from left to right. It is Friesen off the boards, down the wall, quickly taken and cleared by Forborg. 12 seconds remaining on the Laverty minor. Taken by Biega, back behind the net. Biega charging up the left side. O'Neill lines him up. Ran into him, but he was able to dump the puck in. Bodnerchuk slipped it past Friesen down the ice, and this will not be icing. In a confusing play, as Manchester got away with one there. I think the linesman thought there was still Laverty in the penalty box. He had come out. As O'Neill tracks down the puck at center, Acton rubs him off along the boards. Biega takes over and gives on now for Frank Corrado. Corrado's pass goes off the glove of Acton and in deep. Bodnerchuk is there to get it. Bodnerchuk took a hit from Brandon DeFazio. Lost his stick on the play. As the Comets trying to keep it in the zone, they cannot. Sean Backman rushing ahead. His pass stolen by DeFazio. As DeFazio had his pocket picked by O'Neill, he'll get it in deep. Manchester is perfectly fine with playing the dump and chase. And they steal a puck here from Sanguinetti. It's Kempe. Kempe centers alone, and Hamilton got back to break up the pass to Nick Shore. Still a 2-0 lead for the Manchester Monarchs. Zaleski to Sanguinetti down the wall. Taken back by Gaunce, rimmed around to Hamilton. Lacey Hamilton looked to the line, there was no one there, had to feed it to Zaleski, and now back for Gaunce, dealing with broken stick pieces back there. Gaunce steps away from the pile. Huskins with a quick shot that never made it on goal. Gaunce racing to it near boards now. Cycles for Corey Conacher. Conacher trying to get away. He cannot, at least with the puck, and now it's Shore to Laverty. Out through center, rolling puck got away from Zach O'Brien, and a face-off called after the icing. We're back inside the Manchester zone. They try and get Adrian Kempe off the bench and reset the players for the Manchester Monarchs. Clock, which we will keep you apprised of, now reads 15:31. Comets have doubled up the Monarchs in shots, 24-12. But Patrick Bartosak is shutting out the Utica Comets in just his third career playoff game and his second career playoff start. Thrust into action after an injury to Jean-Francois Berube. And the puck thrown out of play by Manchester. But it was deflected, and the faceoff will stay inside the Monarch zone, but they will be allowed to make the line change that they were denied following the last whistle and the icing. Jean Berube played the first 1,019 minutes and 26 seconds of the playoffs for Manchester. He played 52 games out of the 76-game schedule. Patrick Bartosak is trying to nail down a championship-clinching win as O'Reilly centers. Grenier shoots. That one deflected high and lands in the corner. Grenier the first to find it. Comets trying to get on the board here. Clendening pumps, works down the wall. Clendening with speed into the circle. Snaps one in on net. Bartosak save. Rebound from Huskins. Pushed back in. Bartosak stopped it and then dove on the rebound as it started to wobble away from him. Credit him with a few more. He's nearing 30 saves. Jacob Markstrom has done what he can, but he allowed 2 in the first period. He has only seen 12 shots tonight. Cal O'Reilly with Corey Conacher and Nicholas Jensen. And as the puck pushed forward, Jensen wrestles down Laverty but can't come up with the puck. And Manchester skates out ahead. Flips one in the direction of the AHL MVP O'Neill. He curls, he cuts, he's on the backhand. Swiped away by Biega. Played on for Jensen, touched ahead for O'Reilly. Biega will join. It'll be 2-on-2. Biega on the left side. The drop pass when intended for Conacher. Turned around. Michael Murch had a breakaway try, but the puck hit the back of his stick and bounced away from him, allowing O'Reilly to take back over. Comets resetting things here. Biega with 14:35 to go in the third. To Anderson, back to Jensen. Given up in the neutral zone, and Laverty will dump it down. This is Game 5 of the Calder Cup Finals. Comets trail in the series 3-1. Monarchs lead the hockey game 2-0. Puck collected by Ebert. Nick Ebert. To forward, off the glass, glove down by Sanguinetti. He's knocked down, play continues, taken by Shore. He'll go off the glass and out to center. Manchester is just trying to keep the puck out of their zone. Their concern is not offense, it is defense at this point. A solid defensive effort as the goaltender Bartosak covers this one up. For another 13:57 will win them a championship. Manchester leads 2-0 here at the On. This is Game 5 of the Calder Cup Finals on TSN 1040 and 94.9 K-Rock.
I want to get my girls some dining in, but I don't know the first thing about them.
I was pretty clueless too, but I got Susie Yates ring at Engelbert's Jewelers. They're the diamond authority. They help me every step of the way.
At Engelbert's Jewelers, we can answer every question you have and help you with this most special gift from your heart. In business over 100 years, we travel the globe to offer you the best diamonds available. When you think diamonds, think Engelbert. West Dominic Street in Rome and in the New Hartford Shopping Center, 337-3100 and 797-5700.
Summer, hibernation is over. Time to get out of your cave. Time to grab your boards, your bats, your buddies, and your boils. Time to get out there and let her rip, because summer always tastes best with an ice-cold Labatt Blue. Here's to 3 epic action-packed months of untamed adventure. We call it the Labatt Undomesticated Summer. So get up, get out, get undomesticated with Labatt Blue, America's best-selling Canadian beer. Beer at USA, Buffalo, New York.
Looks all the way over.
This is the Utica Comets 2015 Calder Cup playoffs on 94.9 K-Rock.
Manchester has been held without a shot here in the third period, but that is just fine with them. They lead 2-0, 13 minutes and 57 seconds remaining in the third period. As Corey Conacher's shot is blocked, and Adam Clendenning will follow it up with one of his own that's blocked into the crowd. And a whistle here now with 13:49 to go. The faceoff will stay inside the Manchester end. You play all season for the opportunity to win a Calder Cup. This is the 99th game of the year for Utica. Comets captain Cal O'Reilly has played in all 99. Manchester is just trying to hold on. They jumped out to the early 2-0 lead, and they've been trying to sit on it since. They've had some chances. Markstrom's made some saves, but a total of 10. And none here in the third as the Comets had it cleared to center and dump it right back down. Can somebody step up and get one in and make this a hockey game? As Huskins' diving play gets it to Conacher with help from Cal O'Reilly. Conacher's wrist shot is blocked. You get one, and then it becomes that one-goal contest. You can pull the goaltender late. It's a hockey game again. 2 is safe for Manchester. O'Reilly dips it to Conacher. Pulled the trigger, but wide. That puck was on edge, and he one-timed it anyway with that quick release of his, but couldn't direct it on goal. If the Comets have 26 shots on net tonight, they might have 26 shots that have gone wide or high. Here's DeFazio slipping past Miller. DeFazio into the circle. Drags and shoots. It's blocked. It never got there. Forced to the front. Poked back behind. O'Neill and Berchi with a pretty good battle engaged aside from the net. And now it is Corrado back in the Comets end. Quickly on for Clendenning. Time is on the side of the Monarchs as we hit 12:40 to go. DeFazio's blast calmly turned aside by the pads of Bartosak. And then pushed back ahead by Michael Mersch. Mersch goes off the glass and in as the crowd tries to do their part. Viega to Will Acton, turned off ice. Acton, who already knows the feeling of losing a Calder Cup final with the Toronto Marlies a couple of years ago. DeFazio lost his stick as he was knocked down to the ice away from the puck. Viega's pass is deflected, no icing here, and it travels all the way behind Bartosak in the Manchester goal. Forbert's pass, stolen away Jensen, but he couldn't jam it down deep. Nick Shore pushed it through center. Shore in, has Kempe as the trailer, went to the front of the net looking for a tip from O'Brien, and instead that shot went wide. Markstrom with an easy save. Now another one comes in, the first 2 shots of the period, and Markstrom makes a couple of stops. Anderson is able to get it to Jensen at center. Jensen in, but then it's turned right back around. Comets have to dump it, retouch on the delayed offsides as Bartosak stops it behind the goal for Gravel. Stepping out, it is Laverty. Laverty played on now. And Dowd cuts back at the bottom of the circle, right in front, and a point-blank one-timer stopped by Markstrom. He may have been lulled to sleep over the past 2 periods, but when called upon, some of the chances that the Monarchs have been brilliant. And Jacob Markstrom has made some impressive stops, including that one on Laverty, as the captain was looking for his second. Hamilton, Gaunce, and Zaleski with Huskins and Clendenning. And Wasey Hamilton knocked down Dawn off the draw, but instead of getting the puck, it winds up back in the Comets' corner. Now Clendenning to Hamilton, to Gaunce, and the Comets get it up, but not in. Down, able to circle back, holding on to it for Manchester. Near side, Gravel. Gravel has it taken from him. Clendenning off the glass over the head of Gaunce. It doesn't have enough for an icing as Miller will come back and grab it. Miller stops. Gravel handles here. Short pass on, now off the glass. Down will get it out of the zone. Comets down 2-0, 10 minutes and 55 seconds to go. The countdown on for Manchester. No doubt Ken Kell, the other side of the press box, giving constant score updates and time updates for a very different reason than I am. I'm letting you know how much time the Comets have to get back into it. Ken Kell, no doubt broadcasting how much time until Vincent Laverty gets to raise the Calder Cup over his head. There is still time in this game for Utica. The lead is just 2. They erased that yesterday with 2 goals in the final 6 minutes of the first period. They have almost double that to work with here. Alex Friesen will come grab the puck inside the Utica end and play to Bobby Sanguinetti. Sanguinetti to Jensen, and Jensen will carry in. Jensen maneuvers to the slot. Wrist shot, Bartosak, a glove save. And then Friesen got taken down by Forbort. And then Forbort landed on Friesen with a little extra oomph behind it. And as Friesen gets back up, play will continue in a couple of moments with 10:05 to go here in regulation time. Utica Comets hockey, as always, presented by GPO Federal Credit Union. Our focus is you. That was the 28th save of the hockey game for Patrick Bartosak, who was an afterthought at the start of the Calder Cup finals, and may be the story of the finals with his performance here tonight. The Monarchs won 50 games during the regular season. They have won 14 so far in the playoffs. He accounted for 13 in the regular season and just 1 coming into tonight in the postseason. Jensen pokes it to the slot but can't catch back up to it. Colin Miller off the glass. Kempe tried to clear it. Friesen kept it for a moment, but then it's ripped away, and Backman to center ice. It's thrown in by Nick Shore. Bouncing puck. One-handed back away from danger by Ken Huskins. And now it's Glendening lobbing this one ahead. Glove down by Laverty and played up ice. It is sent in by Manchester and played by Markstrom. Backman tracked down the puck in the corner. Will Acton got there. Acton tangling now with Dowd. Huskins pokes it away to Acton, and Acton will start up ice. With him every step of the way was Dowd, forcing Acton's dump in to roll weakly in. Near side, and Shinkarik gets there, played up for Kempe. Kempe lifted it ahead. Corrado knocked it down with the glove. O'Neill now working on Corrado. Put him against the glass. Corrado protected the puck. Give it on for DeFazio. Try to jump around Jordan Wheel. Gravel will bounce one in, and a difficult dump in. Stopped by Markstrom. 8:50 left. Comets down 2-0. Puck played along the wall by Michael Mersch. Cal O'Reilly challenging Mersch. Biega back there as well as Jordan Wheel. Puck in the skates of Mersch. Biega on him. Mersch stepped to the front. Brought it to the crease. Markstrom scrambles for the cover. Can't get it. Makes it. Arm save. And the rebound squirts to the boards. Grenier up ahead for Shinkarik. Shinkarik will dump it to the corner, and O'Reilly will head after it. 8:22 left. Picked up by Gravel. Gravel waiting along the boards. Giving back now on for Miller. Miller to the right side for Wheel, who just picked his head up in time to avoid getting decapitated by Peter Anderson, who had him all sorts of lined up. Far side boards, O'Reilly. Can't get it into the zone. Puck brought ahead by Justin Auger. Auger to the outside, and Anderson pushed him against the glass, but still able to stay on his feet. Sanguinetti pushed behind for Anderson, and now Conacher. At center ice, it stopped and then dumped in on Markstrom by Forbort as we hit 7:45 to go. Anderson hard around. This will be icing against Utica. No one even racing to try and change the minds of the linesmen, and the puck will be placed back inside the Utica zone. The Celtic Harp on Varick Street, Central New York's pre- and post-game party headquarters, is a proud sponsor of the Utica Comets. And Utica Comets hockey is also brought to you by Hilton Estate and Edler Law, LLC. It's never too late to plan ahead. Call Robert Hilton for trusted experience in asset nursing home protection, plus all levels of estate planning. Manchester has mounted a little pressure here in the third period, a little more than they did in the second, a little more than they did in the opening stages of this frame. Laverty to the front for Adrian Kempe. As Kempe has it knocked away. This is Sven Berchi. Unable to clear. Bodnarchuk's shot is blocked by the skates of Hamilton. Berchi brings it ahead. Across the line, Berchi left side for Gauntz. Overskates the puck, got back to it. Chop behind for Hamilton. Glendening looming around in front will now back off to the line as Hamilton is stuffed along the end wall, and Gauntz goes to work on it. Beating back to Hamilton. Berchi's the option at the front of the goal. Hamilton takes a healthy hit from Bodnarchuk, but keeps the puck wrapped up there. Hamilton looking for somewhere to go with it. Came out towards Huskins. Lost it, got it back. Now Huskins ties up with Kempe, allowing Gauntz to get the puck. As he's knocked down, puck sprayed in the air. Glove down by Kempe. He skates and floats it in. 6 minutes, 50 seconds to go in the third period. Manchester holding a 2-0 lead. Will Acton to the right side for Alex Friesen. To the front for Acton. It rolls through. Jensen couldn't get it on goal. Just muffled softly towards the net, and the defense cleaned it up. Gravel the other way with a weak backhand that rolls behind Markstrom and around the wall. Dowd centers. O'Brien shoots, and it flutters off to the corner. Jensen after it here. One-handed up the wall. Acton pushed out to the neutral zone, but Miller right back in. Manchester with a 2-0 lead and 6:15 away. It is Corrado. Around for Grenier and now O'Reilly. Knifing back through neutral ice. Played to Biega, who was on his way to the bench for a line change. Comets able to maneuver through that. Puck knocked out of the air by Jordan Wheel and backhanded into the Comet zone. O'Neill and Anderson tie up there. And now Michael Mersch back at the Utica net. Run off by Sanguinetti, steps in front, jammed to the front of the goal. That power forward got it there, and the Comets play it away. Conacher pokes it past Laverty, who's able to double back and fend off Conacher, who was coming hard after him. Near side, and the hit delivered by Conacher. And the puck thrown down the ice by Forward, and icing is called against Manchester with 5:35 to go. It will either be a Monarchs win or a comeback in spectacular fashion for the Utica Comets. Those are the only two options remaining for this Utica Comets team. There are 3,800 people hoping they are about to see the miraculous comeback. Cal O'Reilly will take the draw for Utica, at least as long as he and Jordan Wheel can line up without another incident here. Face-off sprayed on goal right away, and Bartosak alertly covers. And our last deep breath to take here at the Utica Memorial Auditorium. 5:33 to go. Period 3, Manchester up 2-0. This is the Calder Cup Finals on TSN 1040 and 94.9 KROC. Sold-out crowd standing and hoping for the Utica Comets to score a couple of goals with only 5.5 left on the clock here in the third period. As the puck thrown out of play off the stick of Corey Conacher. It is the Manchester Monarchs, one win away from a Calder Cup championship and a 2-0 lead with 5:21 to go. It is now or never for the Utica Comets. Jacob Markstrom is in the crease. He will be there at least for another few minutes. Patrick Bartosak has done wonders in net for the Manchester Monarchs. 29 saves tonight. Here's Cal O'Reilly to Corey Conacher. Conacher can't keep it in the zone, though, as he throws it back in. On delayed offsides, it is work to Justin Auger. He'll kick it down deep. This will be icing against the Manchester Monarchs. Friesen, Jensen, Berchi, Sanguinetti, and Clendenning. next up for Utica. Friesen will take the face-off. And as it rolled towards Barnasack, it's cut off and brought up the wall by Bodnerchuk, and he'll lift this one down the ice, and another icing call against Manchester. Piece by piece, they work the clock down, and is now inside 5 minutes remaining. 4:55 to be exact. But it is still just a 2-goal lead. And it was 2 goals that were scored 3 minutes and 7 seconds apart back at 10:02 and 13:09 of the first period. The Comets gave up 6 last night, and after those 2 quick goals, it looked like they may be on their way to doing it again. But the Comets settled down, and they have had the better pressure over the final 2 periods, but nothing has gotten past Barnasack to date. Here's Grenier, knocked off balance. It comes to Clendenning. Curls on the backhand, played out for Grenier, and back to Clendenning. Clendenning weighs his options, goes behind the net. O'Reilly tried to force it to the front. Sanguinetti tied up. This one will be shot down the ice. Could be icing again, but the puck's starting to die and will just get to that goal line, and icing is called against Manchester. 20 seconds between whistles, between icings for Manchester, as we're down to 4:35 to go. Brendan Burke from the Utica Memorial Auditorium, Game 5 of the Calder Cup Finals. The Manchester Monarchs with a 3-1 series lead and a 2-0 advantage here in the third period. Cal O'Reilly will take the draw. Alex Grenier parked behind him. Both having great playoffs for Utica. Grenier with 15 points, 6 of those goals. Cal O'Reilly leads the team with 18 points. Scored his first goal of the playoffs on Wednesday night. His Sanguinetti shot is redirected off the high glass in the corner. Grenier the first to find it. Behind the net, O'Reilly. O'Reilly on the backhand, curled, got hit by Laverty as the captains came together. Grenier able to force off Bodnerchuk, and then a clearing effort shut down by Clendenning. Bodnerchuk will go behind the net, and Laverty will try the near side. Off the glass, Conacher got over, but couldn't stop this one from being chipped out of the zone by Auger. And no icing this time as it dies shy of the goal line. Fresh lineup out there now for Manchester. 4 minutes to go here in the third period. Biega from center ice, off the glass and in. Around the wall, Jensen let it roll for Friesen. Short pass on, and it's fired wide by Berchi. Biega to Corrado. His shot tipped wide. A lot of traffic surrounding Barnasack, but this one lifted high in the air and back out into the neutral zone. Corrado turns away from O'Brien. Heads up ice. Corrado in across the line. Hammers one on goal, and the blocker save, sprayed to the wall. Friesen has it pinned there. 3:30 to go. Still digging along the boards. Miller is tied up, so is O'Brien. Berchi, Friesen comes free to Corrado. Moving to the front. Winds and fires, and right into the breadbasket of Barnasack. Whistle now comes with 3:19 to go. Manchester with a 2-0 lead here in the third period, Game 5 of the Calder Cup Finals on TSN 1040 and 94.9 K-Rock.
Suzuki's Zero Excuses sales event is going on now at Bowen's Power Sports in Ilion, and that means there are zero excuses between you and your new motorcycle or ATV. With financing as low as 0% APR for 60 months on select models, or approved credit, or $1,000 customer cash on select models. Hurry in today to Bowen's Power Sports on State Route 51 in Ilion for the best deals and the best bikes. Zero excuses. Motorcycle subject to credit approval. Program available to qualified customers only. Not everyone will qualify. See dealer for details. Restrictions may apply. Since 1972, Mohawk Valley Federal Credit Union has served Hickman.
Building in the league, showing it off again here with 3 minutes and 19 seconds to go in the third period with their team trailing 2-0, trying to will them back into it. Manchester trying to hold on to win a Calder Cup championship. This building has hosted 51 games during the regular season. 40 of those were sold out. All 13 playoff games sold out. to people all dressed in white. It has created an unparalleled atmosphere and the perfect environment to host Calder Cup Finals games. The Comets will not see another one, no matter what happens in the next 3 minutes, as the Comets dump it in and bring Markstrom to the bench. It's pushed along the boards. The Comets need to get control back as Sanguinetti and Mersch come together. It's held in at the line by Berchi. Comets with 6 attackers as Sanguinetti goes to O'Reilly. Back up top for Berchi. Winds, lost it, got it back and keeps it in. Berchi down the wall for O'Reilly. Fed to the top, Berchi, Sanguinetti. One-timer went wide. O'Reilly pokes it free. Rimmed it around, nobody there. Sanguinetti able to race to it. Keep it in, but he pumped it down the boards to forward. And now tied up, it's sprung out to center. Conacher will race back to get it. Hurried up ice for Clendening. He'll muffle one into the corner. Brendan Gaunce in pursuit with 2:20 on the clock. Played back behind the net. Gaunce and O'Reilly tie up there. O'Reilly centers. Stolen away by Jordan Wheel. Wheel out of the zone to Laverty. Laverty trying to launch it down the ice, and the skate of Clendening got in the way. Gathered up by Wheel from the red line. He'll dump it in. Empty net for Utica as O'Neill takes a hit along the end wall. As it comes free, it comes to Biega. Biega will launch it ahead, and it's gloved down at center ice on its way to Jensen. And this shot from Laverty deflects high in the air and off to the corner. 1:54 to go. Grabbed by O'Reilly, played across for Biega. Through center ice, Biega cruising in, dishing. Berchi wires one, it's blocked, and then Shore off the glass. Corrado with the keep this time. Corrado's shot well wide into the corner. Jensen to come get it with 1:35 on the clock. Flipped out of the zone by Laverty, and Corrado will have to turn and chase. 90 seconds to go as Corrado picks it up in his own end. Hurries it on for Friesen. Back to Corrado. The Comets with 6 attackers and Jacob Markstrom on the bench. 1:20 left as they get it deep. Conacher comes in down the wall. Had it for a moment. Sanguinetti followed it up. Then Conacher to Jensen. To the right point, it is Clendening. Across, Sanguinetti's shot. Knuckled over top of the net. Played by Grenier. Near side boards, Clendening. Can't get there, pinched in. Crescenzi with an empty net. From the red line, missed it wide. First one to it, though, is Auger. Last minute of play here in the third. The Comets need 2. It is pushed around the boards. Crescenzi ties it up. Auger lost it. Grenier steps out of the zone with it. Ahead for O'Reilly. O'Reilly across the ice and in. Offsides coming here against Utica with 47.3 to play. 31 saves tonight for Patrick Bartosak. Flawless, at least in the result. Some have been scrambling saves, some have been defensive saves, some have been positional saves, but they have all hit the body of Patrick Bartosak and stayed out. The Comets' situation is bleak. They need 2 goals in the next 47.3 seconds, or they will watch the Manchester Monarchs celebrate a Calder Cup championship here on their home ice. They have called their timeout. They will keep Jacob Markstrom on the bench. They will go with 6 attackers, try to get 1, and then go from there. Patrick Bartosak, a 22-year-old out of the Czech Republic, was the backup goaltender this season for Manchester. And as Jean-Francois Berube won the 37 games during the regular season and the first 13 in the playoffs, he lost out with an injury in Game 3, and Bartosak has been thrown into the spotlight, and he has shined tonight. Faceoff is outside the Monarchs' end with 47.3 on the clock. Manchester wins the draw. As they handle here, they throw it off the glass. Sanguinetti stops it and passes on for Berchi. Drifts into the circle. Laverty after it. Berchi finishes the check as Laverty lofts it out to center as we've reached a half a minute to play here in the third period. Grenier on for Conacher. Drop pass to Berchi. Lost the handle. Laverty will flip it up and out of the zone again with 20 seconds to go. It's taken by Clendening. On now for Conacher. Conacher can't get free. Sanguinetti navigates through. A shot score! Now O'Reilly off the crossbar and in. Makes it interesting with 14.3 left. Well, the Comets not going quietly. As the puck drifted into the circle, and a great shot over the shoulder of Bartosak from Cal O'Reilly. question now is, was it too little, too late? The Comets will keep 6 attackers on the ice with a center ice faceoff. As here's the goal.
The playoff, scored by number 16, Cal O'Reilly!
Faceoff coming with 14.8 to go. O'Reilly off the draw, pushes it forward. It's forward for Manchester protecting. It comes on for Shore. He'll dump it down with 8 seconds to play. It'll be icing, though, and the clock stops with 6.5. Offensive zone draw coming here for Utica. They've already used their timeout. Manchester might want to call theirs. They seem to be a little confused as they line up for this faceoff. Cal O'Reilly will take it for the Comets. He's opposed by Nick Shore. Far side of the ice to the right of Patrick Bartasek. Tied up off the draw, it rolls free. Manchester clears it down. It'll be icing, but will there be time? They make the call at the horn, and the Manchester Monarchs will go out on top. They are the champions of the American Hockey League, the winners of the 2015 Calder Cup. A celebration for Manchester in their final season of the American Hockey League. All the reserve players for Manchester flowed out onto the ice as heartbreak sets in for the Utica Comets. Being another one-goal game. Manchester wins the series in 5 games. And the crowd here in Utica still paying tribute to the guys in white. We're having to watch the Manchester Monarchs celebrate on their home ice. A place where they won 25 games during the regular season and added 7 more during the playoffs. It takes 15 wins to win a Calder Cup championship in the playoffs, and the Utica Comets finish with 12. What a series it was. But Manchester going wire to wire. They won 50 games during the regular season, amassed 109 points, more than any other team in the American Hockey League. Right behind them was Utica, and we saw the 2 best teams in the American Hockey League battle it out, and the Manchester Monarchs claim the victory. The handshake line starts at center ice with the captains leading the way, Cal O'Reilly and Vincent Laverty. It is a time-honored tradition. The handshake after a playoff series, much like the beards that all players have grown here during the 2-month marathon that it has become the Calder Cup playoffs. It was late April when the Comets played their first playoff game, and it was 245 days ago when the Comets season began. And the American Hockey League season is over after a 5-game victory for the LA Kings affiliate, the Manchester Monarchs. And the crowd is all you need to hear right now. crowd you're hearing is responding to the losing team. As the handshake lines finish up here at the Utica Memorial Auditorium, the Comets salute their fans one final time this season. And while they come up a little bit short, what a magical run it has been to follow this Comets team. They exit the ice. Comets head coach Travis Green waving to the crowd, and dare I say, crack a smile. Disappointed, but appreciative of the Comets fans who sold out this building 40 times for his team. And as the Comets leave the ice, the attention and the stage is set for the Manchester Monarchs and the presentation of the Calder Cup. We'll take a break and come back. The president of the American Hockey League, David Andrews, will be on the ice to present the Calder Cup to the 2015 champions, the Manchester Monarchs. This is the Calder Cup Finals on TSN 1040 and 94.9 KROC.
Injured workers. In these trying economic times, insurance companies are contesting more
just give me
valid claims.
Is this a 30 or a 60? Yeah, give me back after that, all right?
CEO of the Americans.
Contact Lawrence Austin today for scheduling an appointment for your workers' compensation, personal injury, Social Security, or matrimonial matter. Call Attorney Saucin at 733-2208. Aggressive representation for the injured worker.
Looks all the way over.
Travis and your Utica Comets on a fantastic regular season and a great Calder Cup playoff.
President David Andrews addressing the crowd
And to Robert Esch and Frank Duras and all of you for making this the most exciting arena in the American Hockey League. I'd like to ask Vice President of Hockey Operations Mike Murray to join me to present the Most Valuable Player Award for the 2015 Calder Cup playoffs to Jordan Wheel.
Jordan Wheel, presented with the MVP, a North Vancouver, BC product, 23 years old, had 69 points in the regular season and 22 points during the postseason in 19 playoff games. He is the 2015 AHL postseason MVP, joining his line mate, Brian O'Neill, who won the regular season MVP.
And had a record of 15-4 in the Calder Cup playoffs. An outstanding team, and congratulations to Rob Blake, Huey McDonough, Mike Stothers, Chris Height, the LA Kings organization. Vince, come on forward and get the cup.
Vincent Laverty, the captain of the Manchester Monarchs, posing for a picture with David Andrews and the trophy that weighs 35 pounds and is 24 inches tall, and named after Frank Calder, a tradition that dates back to 1937, and Vincent Laverty, the first to race it as a Manchester Monarch, and the last as well. Just 26 years old, Laverty, the captain, scored a goal. It proved to be the game winner here in Game 5, the decisive game in the Calder Cup Finals. It was just his second of the playoffs, and as he passes it on to the alternate captain's first, it is Andrew Bodnarchuk, a 26-year-old who's played almost 500 games in his AHL career, and the first time he has gotten to hold it. And the next goes to Josh Stratton, another journeyman in the American Hockey League, his 12th pro season, his 8th in the AHL. Utica Comets fans sold out this building again tonight, and some have made their way towards the exits. Many many have stayed and paying the respect to the champions here on the ice at the Utica Memorial Auditorium. You dream of your team hoisting the Calder Cup, and it is a bittersweet feeling to watch somebody else raise it on your ice. But the silver lining is the fact that here on the 13th of June, the Utica Comets were playing for the Calder Cup. For the Manchester Monarchs complete the coronation wire to wire. They win the McGregor-Kilpatrick Trophy as the AHL's regular season points champion, and they now hold the Calder Cup. And Jeff Schultz, who lost the 2007 Calder Cup, who can't really raise the cup. That's why he wasn't playing in today's game, because of a shoulder injury. He takes a twirl with it before passing it off to Paul Bissonnette. As the Monarchs celebrate, it is nearly time to wrap up our season here in Utica. The Manchester Monarchs with a 2-1 win in game number 5, and they claim the 2015 Calder Cup over the Utica Comets. Cal O'Reilly scored the only goal for Utica. It didn't come until the final minute, ruining what would have been a shutout for Patrick Bartosak, but does not diminish his performance. Bartosak, the backup goaltender, thrust into action after an injury to J.F. Berube in Game 3, and he comes up with the biggest win in his 22 years on the planet as they give the cup to Berube, the guy who got them to this point, who is in full gear, as even the injured players found a way to get on the ice to celebrate as champions of the American Hockey League. The New York State Tour post-game show is what we have on store for you as the season will come to a close, and our broadcast season will wrap up as well. We'll recap this one. We've got plenty to talk about this magnificent run for the Utica Comets. And our coverage continues as Manchester has claimed the 2015 Calder Cup. Back in a few moments from the Horton Room here at the Aud. You're listening to the Utica Comets one final time this year on TSN 1040 and 94.9 KROC.